And we are indeed back yet again. Here tonight, no Knicks basketball and a late night game here on the West Coast. We're watching the 76ers take on the Los Angeles Clippers out there in Los Angeles. The late game here tonight, the last game to air on what is a pretty bad NBA slate here today. It is and should be the best NBA game on today, so hopefully we are in for a good show. So let's go ahead and dive right into it and start the show, y'all. That is right, we are indeed back again, y'all. We are in the building out here in Los Angeles to watch the Clippers host the 76ers, an East Coast rival of the New York Knicks, although the Knicks are winners of their last six. So, of course, we're not too concerned about the measly team trying to get themselves out of the play-in situation. So here we are. This should be the best game of the night. Other games that were on tonight, we can take a look at the slate real quick. There weren't too many of them. Hornets, Pelicans got the night started. Pretty close contest. It was fun. The Hornets, just like the Knicks, one of the hottest, actually the two hottest teams in the NBA by win record or by winning streak so far. The Knicks have won 6 in a row, and as of today, because the Hornets won, they are now winners of their last 7. The Hornets are in fuego. The Rockets just took down the Indiana Pacers in what ended up being a very good, close game down the stretch there. Alperen Sengun with a measly 39-16. Just a calm 39-16 to take down the Pacers here today. Pacers have been unexpectedly, or maybe expectedly, a lot more spunky as of late. They're up to 13-37. 13 wins, not bad. Not bad for a team that had the worst record in the NBA by a mile. Now sort of crawling their way back into at least some decent play here as they've gotten healthier as the season's gone on. Joseph, what's up, Joseph? Just that said, KD-less Rockets barely beat the Pacers. Barely, but they're always in close games. Joseph, Justice Dad, Daniel Berry Sports, what's up, guys? Appreciate y'all. The other game that's airing right now is the Timberwolves down big to the Memphis Grizzlies, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maybe rocked by some recent trade rumors that they are heavy in the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes, which would mean heavy players amongst the rotation, star players even, maybe like a Julius Randle might be on the move at this deadline. If they try to swing big, they're now down 20 early in the fourth quarter there to the Memphis Grizzlies, a John Morant-less Memphis Grizzlies. Getting game dogs. Anthony Edwards playing, is Randle playing? Their top performer shows right here is Jaden McDaniels, who is playing here tonight. Of course, going over our game here tonight, Randle is playing. Edwards is also playing. Edwards with 25, 4, and 1 with 2 turnovers. Randle with 14, 6, and 7 with 3 turnovers. DiVincenzo, 11, 3 for 5 from 3, a rebound, 3 assists. But nobody doing any of the dirty work down there, it seems. 10 rebounds for Gobert. I guess he's the only one. But not much production off the bench. Now, we always say Naj Reid is the barometer, and as the Minnesota Timberwolves have been climbing the rankings, they have climbed their way to 31-19. I call Naj Reid the barometer. If Naj Reid's having a good game, chances are Minnesota's having a good game. If Naj Reid's having a bad, disappointing game, chances are Minnesota's going to be struggling. They go as he goes most of the time. Oda Austin, what's up, Oda? Just that said, I took a nap, guilty as charged. I'm a part of the nap crew as well. Brother, get your naps in, especially for late night games. Got to get your naps in. Absolutely. All right, so our NBA coverage here today will be Clippers 76ers, the last game of the night. So let's go ahead. Let's dive in to our matchup. We're going to start with the road team and their best player, as always, and that will be Philadelphia and Tyrese Maxey. Maxey is, in my opinion, and I'm sure majority or smart people's opinion, the best player on the team. Probably the most valuable player on the team as well. They go as Maxey goes. 29.2 points per game, 4 boards, 6.9 assists. We'll call it 7. 7 assists for Tyrese Maxey, 2.5 turnovers. Not bad at all. This is my favorite stat to watch, especially for high usage players. Right here. If you can stay under 3, and Maxey's at 2.5, actually under 2.5, at 2.4. Ooh, boy, oh boy, is it just a beautiful thing especially because the NBA, a lot of people think that the analytics is solely just, well, 3 is more than 2, so take more three-point shots. What analytics actually are is trying to find the minute sort of areas in the game that you could take advantage of, and the small little micro skills that can actually help your team win basketball games. One of those is taking care of the basketball, right? Now, it seems like an obvious thing, don't give the team more possessions, but helping to win the possession battle, which has become an ongoing war in the NBA this season, every team is focusing on their rebounding, especially their offensive rebounding, their boxing out capabilities, and limiting turnovers. The great teams can limit turnovers and dominate the boards. 2.4 turnovers for a high-usage guard like Tyrese Maxey is, it's literally as good as you could ask for, man. This is superstar stuff right here, and Tyrese Maxey obviously fits the bill. Also, highly efficient from the field, 40% from 3, 47 from the field, looking like Jalen Brunson out there with these stats right here. But Tyrese Maxey, 25 years old, has the quickness, probably the quickest and fastest player in the NBA right now. Shout out De'Aaron Fox. I think he's got to hand that mantle over to this guy right here. I think he deserves it. Twilson, what's up, Twilson? Max still got smoked by our Knicks, though. I mean, as always, that is a Philly getting smoked by New York thing that's been going on for forever. We get over to Joel Embiid, the resurgent Joel Embiid. He is back. He is back, y'all. As much as we may be dismayed, as much as you may be excited, doesn't play the exact same style he used to. More of a mid-range assassin now. The jump shot is his go-to offensive weapon at this point in his career, and it's great that he was able to pivot and really focus and lock in on that NBA skill because he's needed it. Can't continue to bang down low at 31 years old with the knee injury and the history that he has. But 26 a game, 7.5 boards, 4 assists. He's been rebounding it better as of late as well, so don't be fooled by the 7.5 boards anymore. This is just his average on the year, where to start the year he couldn't rebound because he couldn't move laterally. He couldn't really jump off the floor. Now, able to move laterally a little bit more, able to jump off the floor a little bit more, getting his conditioning back, getting his feel and his chemistry back on the court, his rhythm back. Don't be fooled by 7.5 rebound average anymore. That was the story of Joel Embiid. Even though the scoring started to tick up, the rebounding was still not where it needed to be. Now the rebounding is starting to get back into form for Joel Embiid. 1.1 blocks per game, 3 turnovers. Over 3, I'm looking at you side-eyed. I get it, high usage guy, but like Tyrese Maxey, like I said, there are examples of players out there who are high usage, low turnovers, and Embiid, again, he is coming back from the injury, working his way back chemistry-wise with a lot of new guys like a VJ Edgecombe and whatnot, and adjusting to a new role of being the second guy, and very much willing to be the second guy, play through Maxey. Maxey's the guy on the team. Now they're starting to play through Embiid a lot more as he's rounding back in the form, but 3.1 turnovers, a little high, actually very high, but not out of the 3 is where I draw the line, and he's sitting at 3.1, so 3.5 is where I'm like, oof, that's way too high, brother. You got to cut down on them. 3, I'm looking at you side-eyed. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's bad. 49% from the field, especially from the center position. 85 from the foul line, 30% from three-point range. This is actually on the rise. It was hovering around 25, 26 majority of the year. As I updated it today, it jumped up to about 30, 29.7. So that's a good sign for Philly. It's a good sign for Embiid, who's 3 for 5 from 3 in their last game. He's been cooking. I believe he scored 40. Had a 40 ball the other day as well. Joe said, do you think Maxey is faster than Josh Hart? Absolutely. Not even close. I don't even think it's close. I don't think of Josh Hart being very fast at all. Josh Hart is just like a freight train. He's fast, but he's also just big and strong and bullies his way to the basket. You want to talk about a foot race? I think Maxey's dusting everybody else in the league. Paul George is unfortunately banned for 25 games for substance abuse. Or not substance abuse, my bad. That is horrible phrasing. Not substance abuse. They did find an illegal substance, not an illegal substance. Very legal to take, but it's a banned substance for the NBA. You cannot use this substance while being an NBA player. Paul George was on an antidepressant, apparently. It wasn't any hard drugs or anything like that, an antidepressant for his mental health and whatnot. So he is unfortunately going to have to serve the 25-game ban. He will be back before the playoffs. Wishing him well. We're going to leave it at that. Katie said Maxey is faster than Fox for sure. Last game I saw, he was a blur. Yeah. I mean, he's 25 years old. Fox is in his late 20s, going into his 30s now. Like, I don't even really think it's a comparison. I think in his prime, you might still be able to say Fox was the fastest player or faster than Maxey. But right now, Maxey, to me, like you said, he's a blur, Kahazy. He is a blur. You see him and then you don't. Let's go over to VJ Edgecombe, who's now going to slide back into that second on-ball guy outside of Tyrese Maxey, which might do him well because he was kind of getting lost in the shuffle as Paul George is rounding the form. Embiid's gotten back to a star level. Maxey obviously is the superstar, the captain of the team. VJ Edgecombe is kind of getting lost in the shuffle a little bit after an explosive start to the season, especially offensively. So we're going to see him get the ball in his hands a little bit more often now with Paul George. Going to have to serve the suspension. 15.1 so far this year, 5 boards, 4 assists, still doing a little bit of everything, still locking up defensively. For a rookie, it's extremely impressive. Under 2 turnovers, so not even making a ton of mistakes out there even when he is on ball. 37% from three-point range, to me, is the most impressive number for him. The field goal percentage will rise as his career goes on. He gets stronger, smarter, becomes a better finisher, all of the things, a better mid-range shooter, 37%, a better ball handler, 37% from three-point range is the most impressive thing for him coming out of college as an athletic slashing guard was his archetype, and he's come in and he said, I need a three-point shot to survive in the NBA, and boy, oh boy, he's come locked and loaded, playing off of Maxey, playing off Embiid, playing off of Paul George. He's been able to be a knockdown three-point shooter for them. I mean, 37%, not necessarily a knockdown three-point shooter, but for what his reputation was and what the expectation was, boy, oh boy, he's been knocked down. Don't leave this kid open. Now we get over to Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes, once a Knick, always a Knick, one of my favorite players. One of my favorite players to have been traded by the New York Knicks. Unfortunately, man, of all the young guys, I really wish we could have held on to Grimes. Grimes are quickly, but definitely Grimes because he kind of fits the archetypical two-guard in the NBA. He can knock down a three. He can play off the dribble just a little bit. He can attack closeouts. He's a smart playmaker. 3.7 assists to under 2 turnovers, which is fine for a guy coming off the bench. I think he's a prototypical sixth man in the NBA. 13.1 points, 4 boards, 3.7 assists. I will say these stats not too far from my guy Deuce McBride, but I'm just saying. He does have a nice, size and wingspan to him, about 6'4", 6'5", strong build, and gotten finish, and has become a better finisher as his career has gone on. Quentin Grimes do it all guy off the bench. Sometimes he's red hot and can, racks up around 30 minutes a night. Sometimes not so much, and he's getting around 20. Kind of just depends on the kind of night you're going to get out of Grimes. And like Naz Reid, like we talked about to start the show, can be a little bit of a barometer for the 76ers team. Right? If he doesn't have it going, they could sometimes start sputtering out and then force-feeding the Maxey and Embiid combo and then trying to get something out of a guy like Edgecombe or previously a guy like Paul George. But Philly is actually extremely deep because if Quentin Grimes doesn't have it going, they can go to a guy like Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre now back from injury, thankfully, for the 76ers because he's a very big part of what they do. 14.2 points per game, 5 boards, 1.4 assists for Oubre. He hasn't played too much so far this year. But I wrote down here, Oubre is a wild card. His size makes him extremely versatile. I think his kind of archetypical build and play style makes him really valuable to a majority of NBA teams, if not all of NBA teams. But the thing that has kept him as a role player is his inconsistencies, right? 50% shooter from the floor. I think he's been a fantastic finisher so far this year. 37% from three. He's been knocking it down from three-point range. The issue is that sometimes he'll have a night where he's like 1 for 6 from three-point range and like 2 for 8 from the floor. And then some nights he's giving you like 20. And you kind of just want a steady flow of like, just give me 14 every night, right? Just give me 14 and then occasionally give me a 20-point game. But if you can give me 14 every night and he just doesn't always guarantee you exactly what you're looking for. Either way, Kelly Oubre, very good player. He seems entirely locked in. He's 30 years old now. So he's a veteran. He's been in the league. He knows his role. I think he's thankful to be on a team that's competing now after dealing with what happened last year where the team just completely fell apart and they won the lottery all of a sudden. Now back to playing very consistent, winning basketball, and Kelly Oubre is a nice big part of it. Now we get over to Jared McCain, who's coming off, I think, his most impressive game of the year. You can look up their recent box score and whatnot. But Jared McCain has had a really stressful season this year. And maybe stressful is too strong a word. But it's been a down year in his second season for Jared McCain, a really disappointing outing for him. He scored 12 points, 4 for 6 from 3, knocked down 4 threes, right? 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 17 minutes, 12 points. He just does not have the opportunity to play all that much. 6.8 points, 2.1 rebounds, 1.6 assists is a far cry from what he averaged his rookie year. 0.6 steals, 0.1 blocks, not getting a ton of playing time. His three-point percentage did jump up. It was hovering around like 31%. It's now up to 37% after a couple of really nice stretches from 3 as of late. Maybe he's just starting the round back in the form after dealing with multitude of injuries. Obviously, one that cut his rookie year very short, and then to start the year was supposed to be healthy and ready to go, and then suffered another setback injury, missed the first month of the season. Now he's back, but being in a situation where you're playing behind Maxey, obviously. Now you're playing behind Edgecombe, and you also have Quinn Grimes on the roster, who is playing for a contract. And so there just really isn't space for Jared McCain to get out there on the court this season. But trying to make the most of it, under 40% from the field is obviously not going to get it done. If you are an NBA team in a look for a young, up-and-coming player that you're willing to take a swing on, Jared McCain is your guy you should be looking to. Try and stealing him from Philadelphia. I'm not sure if Philadelphia's in the market to trade him. He's only in his second year, hasn't gotten a ton of opportunity, and they're probably going to have to choose between he and Quentin Grimes come this offseason if they don't move him at the deadline here. But either way, Jared McCain's coming off a couple of really nice games. I'm rooting for him. His rookie year was very fun when he was healthy and ready to go. Joe said Landry Shamet is the GOAT from three-point range. Do you think Landry Shamet is a top 5 three-point shooter? Absolutely not. At least top 10? I don't know. I'd have to go through the list, but probably not top 10 either. We get to Justin Edwards, who's kind of effectively out of the rotation now. With Paul George now having to, unfortunately, serve a suspension, we'll see if Justin Edwards is the guy they call up off the bench. But with Oubre back in the mix, they might just lean on Oubre a little bit more as well. Maybe Justin Edwards got some spot minutes here and there. We'll see. Did he play the other night? He didn't play the other night, so I doubt it, especially with Trendon Watford available again. Adem Bona has won out the backup center spot for the Philadelphia 76ers over Andre Drummond, with Joel Embiid kind of back playing majority of the nights now. Obviously still going to take some injury management nights off, but Adem Bona has won out the backup center minutes outside or over Andre Drummond. The box score, the counting stats don't look all that impressive. 4-4. Ignore the 40% from three-point range. He's only taken a handful of threes this year. Is not a threat from three-point range at all. 55.7% from the field, 65% from the line. He's just kind of a do-it-all rim-running big. Maybe not do-it-all, but he's a rim-running big in terms of protecting the rim. 1.4 blocks per game. He's actually very good at that. He's good at blocking shots. He's very good at blocking shots. He's okay to good at rim protection, right? He's just a big, strong dude, 22 years old, second season in the NBA. He fairly won out the backup center spot, so he's going to continue to get better. He's going to continue to gain experience to become a better rim protector. Remind me a little bit of young Capella when he was earlier in his NBA journey. But just really solid overall defensive big, really versatile as well, can step out and switch on the guard and slide his feet a lot more, and a really impassioned player as well. And those energy guys off the bench really do your team justice, even if maybe they're not as skilled as you'd like them to be. But Adem Bona, 22 years old, is a really nice backup center to continue working and developing with. Andre Drummond, he's still here, even though he is not a part of the rotation anymore if Joel Embiid is available. Mostly because I love talking about his three-point development this year. Where did this come from? Who told Andre Drummond he could shoot threes this year? It is my favorite story in the NBA. This guy's lining up from three all of a sudden in year, 12, 13 for him? He came into the league as a baby. He was like 18 turning 19, like Cooper Flagg was. And never really was taking threes except for this year. He suddenly started lining it up. Now, he was over 40% for about 20, 25 games, 30 games maybe even to start the year. Now is slowly coming back down to earth a little bit. He's now down to 36. And again, doesn't play all that often, so maybe that's a rhythm thing as well. But either way, I do think it's absolutely hilarious that Andre Drummond suddenly started to shoot some threes. I love it, though. I love it. Now we get to Dominic Barlow, the last guy I want to talk about for Philadelphia here. He was, for large parts of the NBA, of the season, the starting power forward. And maybe with Paul George now out again, maybe they put Barlow back in the starting lineup. But either way, he's a really good young, like Adem Bona, 22 years old, really good young forward, big man to kind of work with and mold into a really nice player for them. 8 points, 5 boards, really solid so far this year. The thing that is going to propel his NBA career to being a legit role guy in the NBA is that three-point shooting. Only 26% from three this season. And if he can get that to respectable levels like 35, 36%, he is definitely going to carve out space for himself in the NBA, in a rotation somewhere, maybe even as a starter, because the defense is solid, the rebounding's good, rim protection's okay, slides his feet, versatile, smart basketball player, spent some time with the Spurs organization, now here with Philly actually getting an opportunity to play now. Albert, what's up, Albert? So he's got a nice, decent future alongside of him. If he can get this to respectable range, start getting it over 30, then try to get it to 34, 35, that's respectability right there, and then that should unlock your game to the point where you should really start carving out space as a legit NBA forward in the NBA. Now we're going to get over to the Los Angeles Clippers. And Kawhi Leonard, he definitely has a bone to pick with the NBA coaches who decided who were the ones who picked the reserves in the NBA in the All-Star game. My goodness, I'm all over the place today. In the All-Star game today. 27.6 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, 3 points assist for Kawhi Leonard. He is definitely worthy of being an All-Star. Now, they had to get the LeBron legacy pick in there. Who else was in there? Maybe it comes down between he and Danny Avdija. And honestly, it might be Kawhi Leonard, the way he was able to pull this Clippers team out of the depths of owing the Oklahoma City Thunder that first overall pick that was likely going to be in the lottery. Now Kawhi Leonard's dragged them all the way back to hovering around 500. What is their record so far this year? They're 23-25, I believe. They are... Now I got to go all the way back. Raymond, what's up, Raymond? Embiid is a hacking butcher. The hurt Midge almost broke his leg. Very true, very true. The Clippers are 23-25, so they're 2 games out of 500, hovering around there. Very nice for the Clippers after they started the year. One of the worst, most embarrassing teams in the NBA. Now they're back. Now they're back to being average, mediocre. Although I will say they're like a ridiculous 16-3 in the last 19 games, something like that. So they're definitely past the point of mediocrity there. Now, a pretty dang good team. I will say one of those 3 losses, the New York Knicks, just wanted to put out there. But Kawhi Leonard's been an All-Star this year. He did not get named to the All-Star team. I don't think he really cares. He probably didn't want to show up to the game anyway. We get over to James Harden. James Harden, also a very good year. I'm not sure if James Harden got named to the All-Star team or not. I should check. I should pull it up. But it doesn't really matter. He's having an All-Star-esque type of year. 25 points per game, 8 assists, adding in 5 rebounds as well. He's always a triple-double threat. 3.7 turnovers. He's always been a turnover machine. Like I said, over 3.5. I'm looking at you sideways, James Harden. That is way too high, but it's been that way his entire career. 42% from the field, 35% from three-point range. Not, at 36 years old, going on 37 now, James Harden, not the athlete, not the finisher that he used to be, not the consistent regular season dominant player that he used to be, but obviously still extremely good alongside Kawhi Leonard, dragging this team back to mediocrity and hopefully above and beyond for this Clippers team. Boy, oh boy, they needed these 2 guys to take their game up, and they have. Another guy they need to stick their game up is Ivica Zubac, who was on the short list of possible All-Stars last season, and then started this year extremely disappointingly. 14.5 points, 11 rebounds, all these stats ticking up just a little bit. 61% from the field. He's an excellent finisher in the paint. Great pick-and-roll partner with Harden. Good short-roll decision maker as well. Under 2 turnovers per game, 2.2 assists. Playing out of the low to mid post as well. So it's going to be a really nice matchup between Zubac, who's a very good defensive center, underrated defensive center because he doesn't get a ton of block shots, but he's great at positioning, stands in front of the rim and the defender, forces you to finish over him and take tough shots around him. So he versus Joel Embiid should be a very fun matchup here tonight. Looking forward to it. Bradley Beal is out for the year. I probably should have just removed him, but I don't even think he ever suited up for the Clippers. Maybe 1 or 2 games and whatnot, but he is out for the season, unfortunately, for Bradley Beal. Bogi Bogdanovic, I believe, is available today, but has not played all that much this year. Really struggling to stay on the court with all the injury issues so far this season. You could see a lot of his counting stats taking a big hit because of it. He's constantly not even in and out of the rotation. Maybe to start the year, he's in and out of the lineup with injury, but he has been out for a large swath of the season now. I believe he just recently made his return, and he should be available to play here tonight. But again, clearly taking a hit with his efficiency and everything else because of all the injuries. He's under 40 from the field and 33% from three-point range, and we know he's a better player than that. Brook Lopez, one of the offseason signings after, or was it a trade? I don't even remember. Obviously, coming over from the Milwaukee Bucks, he spent his last couple of years down there, won a ring with the Bucks, was a huge part of that team, playing alongside Giannis, remaking his game to be a stretch big and a defensive big man rim protector. But at 37 years old, he don't really got it in him like that anymore. He's 37% from the field, 33.5% from three-point range. Just not a very good year for Brook Lopez. He's old. He's wearing down. He's on his way out. There were people trying to convince me, actually, we should go get Brook Lopez, as if he's not 37 years old, can't really guard anybody anymore, and doesn't knock down the perimeter shot at the level that I think a lot of people think he does. 6.3 points per game, 2.6 rebounds. Shout out Brook Lopez. Phenomenal career, but he's on his way out the door. Suns Gen, what's up, Suns Gen? Get Beal out of the Suns uniform into a bathrobe and slippers. What's up, Suns Gen? Buffalo Joe, what's up, Relic? Just chiming in to say what's up. What's up, Relic? We get over to John Collins. John Collins was a sneaky pickup for the Clippers. Started the year really bad. I just don't think he had any chemistry with any of his teammates. I don't think they knew how to utilize him, the coaching staff. With that being said, he has started to play significantly better as of late. 13.5 points, 5 boards. Still okay. You could get a little bit more out of him, but with the way Kawhi and Harden have been playing, you don't need as much out of him. And Zoop playing alongside Zubac. But he's really just a stretch forward for them right now. At 43% from three-point range is phenomenal for him. 56% from the field, very good finisher as well. Still has that athleticism at 28 years old, should be in the prime of his career. And after a career year with the Utah Jazz, he has come out and having just a fine season for the Clippers here. Again, started off really slow, but starting to work his way back into what we thought he was going to be for the Clippers so far this year. Chris Dunn is kind of their de facto point guard. He's not the greatest point guard in the world. He's more of a defensive point of attack defender, and that's kind of it. Again, not really a point guard or an NBA level point guard. He's solid, but nothing to write home about. He is shooting 36% from three-point range this year on low volume, so people leave him open constantly. They dare him to shoot it. He's kind of their Josh Hart in that sense offensively, where it's like he's going to be left open. He's going to have open looks. He can't hesitate on them. He has to take those open looks. Shooting 36% from three-point range this year, which is respectable, but again, on low volume, does not want to take a ton of those looks. And if he's knocking them down, it's a huge benefit to the Clippers. If he's not, their offense starts to sputter, and it becomes a lot of Harden and Kawhi bail us out in this possession. So they're going to need him to knock down shots. Joe said Luka is overrated. He did all. I think Luka's properly rated. Everybody knows his defensive shortcomings and whatnot. We get to Nick Batum, which is the last guy I want to talk about here for the Clippers, as we are about 8 minutes away from tip-off or so. Nick Batum, an elite role player in the NBA, has been an elite role player in the NBA for pretty much his entire career. He's now at 37 years old. He's extremely old in the NBA, especially for a wing like him, a role player wing like him. He is a 3-and-D guy. Still plays some very good defense and still knocks down the three-point shot at a pretty high level, 39% from three-point range. He's had a very interesting career, started his career with the Portland Trailblazers, and was really solid on a team that eventually kind of built itself around LaMarcus Aldridge. It was he, Wesley Matthews, LaMarcus Aldridge. Who was the center on that team? Was that Robin Lopez? They were really fun. And then up and coming, obviously adding Lillard as well. But by that point, Nick Batum kind of ended up going out the door, got paid after a really impressive season. Went to Charlotte, kind of became the de facto go-to guy in Charlotte because Charlotte never signed anybody, but they gave him a big old contract. And then next thing you know, he's kind of floundering in Charlotte, then bounces around the league a little bit, ends up on the Clippers and kind of refines himself as a 3-and-D wing. Only 4.6 points, 2.7 rebounds, 0.8 assists so far this year, but his contributions are more invaluable than that. It's a lot of stuff that aren't going to show up in your traditional box score accounting stats here. He's still under 40% from the field, but 39.4%. You can see how close these numbers are, and that's because he's not really taking interior shots. He's really just a three-point shooter at this point in his career. 37 years old, he's not trying to beat anybody off the dribble. He's not trying to take a ton of contact in the paint. He's not trying to finish over anybody. He's just trying to play some good defense, knock down some threes, and that's pretty much it. That's the role for Nick Batum, and that's why he's last on the totem pole here of players that we are covering. But with that being said, that's going to wrap us up right there. I will say this Timberwolves-Grizzlies game is starting to get a little interesting. The Timberwolves were down 20 to start this fourth quarter, and it is now 12. Grizzlies just scored a couple of free throws here. Chris Finch gets a technical, maybe trying to rally his guys for one last push here. But that is a 12-point game now. Be a tough loss for the Timberwolves. 31, and they'll drop to 20, especially after the Knicks beat the Lakers the other night. If you look at the standings for the West Coast here, Timberwolves trying to make sure they stay out of that play-in situation, which they're hovering around. They drop down to 20. They drop down to only a half game ahead of the Lakers and the Suns, but they will be tied with them in the loss column, which is not where you want to be. The Lakers will actually be the fifth seeded team, because they would be one ahead in the loss column of the Suns and the Timberwolves. So would be a bad loss for the Timberwolves here tonight if they did end up losing, which it looks like they're on their way of doing so. The Grizzlies trying to sneak into that 10 seed. They're battling Portland for it. So a big game for the Grizzlies here as the season is starting to wind down. We have something close to like 35-ish games or so to go as we are quickly approaching the All-Star break, which I believe is April 15th, I believe. When does the NBA All-Star break officially start? So it starts February 13th and it goes to the 15th. Obviously, it's a weekend, but they do get a week off, so they'll probably be back on like a Wednesday or Thursday or something. Either way, so it is the 13th to start, so we're about a week and a half away. So it's next Friday is when the All-Star break officially starts. Next Friday. With the New York Knicks win the other day, they remain tied with Boston, but they move a half game closer to the Pistons. The Pistons are in action tomorrow. So are the Knicks. Obviously, the Knicks game is the game we'll be covering tomorrow. And the Pistons play the Nuggets. Could be a tough game for the Pistons, although we did see the Oklahoma City Thunder handle the Nuggets the other night. Now they play the Pistons. Jokic is back. Murray did just make an All-Star team. But the Knicks are playing the Wizards tomorrow. Should be an easy game. It is the... is it the first game of a back-to-back? Wednesday, right? They played the Nuggets on Wednesday? Yeah, they played the Nuggets on Wednesday. So that's actually tough for the Nuggets. Second night of a back-to-back for the Nuggets as well. So no excuses on Wednesday when they play the Nuggets. Hopefully, I'm expecting them to take care of business against the Wizards tomorrow. And then Wednesday, you have the Denver Nuggets coming into town. 7 o'clock start time. Do we do a doubleheader? What is the other ESPN game here? Thunder Spurs. Do we check out the final Thunder Spurs matchup before the playoffs, man? Ooh, this will be the fourth game they play, by the way. It ends up, or the fifth game they play, right? This ends up this way because of the in-season tournament added a game to this matchup. If we check their games against San Antonio, should tell us here how many times they played. 1, 2. Oh, they only played 3 times. Oh, they played 4 times. Yeah, they're gonna have a fifth game. On Wednesday night. So we'll cover this one as well. We'll do the doubleheader. Love to see it. Love to see a doubleheader. This is a good one. This is Wednesday night. It's gonna be another long night, but it's going to be an enjoyable one. All right, we're a couple minutes away from tip-off here. They're going to go through the starting lineups now. Jay Hammer's the 5th quarter. What's up, Jay Hammer? Timberwolves putting up a decent fight to make it somewhat respectable down the stretch there, but they did allow the Grizzlies to score 132 points tonight. That's tough. That's tough for a team that's supposed to be good defensively. I do want to look up real quick, because we have a couple of minutes, where teams stand in terms of defensive and offensive rating. Obviously, we're keeping track of it for our Knicks. That's not what I wanted. We're keeping stats of it, keeping track of it for our Knicks, as they are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. But offensive rating, Denver Nuggets still remain 1. The New York Knicks have jumped up to 3. Actually, they've been hovering around 3 all year, but kind of comfortably 3. 1 full percentage point over the Oklahoma City Thunder here. Cool. In terms of defensive rating, the Thunder very much 1. The Knicks do not crack the top 10. Last I checked, they were 11. So, and the Boston Celtics played, who'd they just smack around? The Milwaukee Bucks, and they held them to 79 points. So that helped the defensive rating very, very much. The Knicks now fall to 12. I mean, they didn't fall to 12. One team jumped them. I wonder, is that Dallas? Either way, they are 113.5. So Boston separating themselves just a little bit for the Knicks being able to jump up to 11. Well, they were just listed as 10, so I wonder why that dropped. Anyway, net rating usually defines the best teams in the NBA. Oklahoma City at 1, Detroit at 2, so that tracks. Boston at 3, which is why everybody kind of looks at them like, oh, man, maybe Boston is not a fluky team. Rockets at 4, and the Knicks are sitting there at 5 as they kind of fix their team, and kind of comfortably at 5. A half point ahead of the San Antonio Spurs, but a half point behind the Houston Rockets for 4th. But they're there. They're there. Boston Celtics being 2.2 points behind the Detroit Pistons is crazy. Joe Mazzulla is a wizard. Jaylen Brown's having an incredible season. At some point, I'm expecting them to, experience some turbulence, but it just has not come. That team is playing with incredible confidence right now. Kobe Sanders is in the starting lineup for the LA Clippers today. I know of Kobe Sanders, but not 100% familiar with his game. So if there are any Clippers fans in the chat, fill me in. Fill me in for sure on Kobe Sanders' game. So let's go back here. Net rating we looked at. This percentage, assist ratio, assist turnover. Knicks should be high here. They're 9th. Knicks are 9th in assist turnover ratio, which is very good. Very good. Shout out Jalen Brunson, who is the leader in the pack of that, obviously. Offensive rebounding percentage, and the Knicks are all the way down at 6, which is interesting. I mean, they're not, locked into 6 or anything like that, but you would think they would be a little bit higher with Mitchell Robinson on the team. And turnover percentage, Oklahoma City leads the pack. And the Knicks not too far. They're down there at 8. So they're top 10 in majority of the categories that are very important to keep track of. Top 5 in a couple of really important categories, which is right where you want to be. Right where you want to be. McCarthy Towns really struggling offensively, but starting to find himself a little bit in this offense. Knicks in at 3. I would love to see them jump up to 2 and maybe at 1 as Denver Nuggets and Boston Celtics flip-flopping, fighting, kung fu fighting for that number 1 seed. You can see they're at 120.8 and the Celtics right behind them at 120.7. So, and the Knicks at 118.9. They have some catching up to do, but a full point, like I said, ahead of the Thunder. So they're kind of locked in the top 3 right now as long as they don't slide themselves all the way out of it, which it appears they've experienced their worst part of their season already. So, but coming out of this timeout, we should be ready to go for the game now. It is a Peacock game, so a little bit more pomp and circumstance, which is why it's a little bit later of a tip-off time. But we did do the doubleheader yesterday, but if we go through one more time, the overall slate from yesterday night, Celtics dominated the Bucks, like we talked about, held them to 79 points, an absolute embarrassment from Milwaukee. I know no Giannis, but still, man, that's an absolute embarrassment. The Pistons dominated the Nets, and just as embarrassing, the Brooklyn Nets, yet again, really struggled to put up points. They scored 66 against the Knicks, and they scored 77 against the Pistons. And they got blown out by 50-plus in both of those games. Similarly, the Heat dominated the Bulls. It was the NBA, the National Blowout Association, in full effect last night. Raptors in a close one over the Jazz. Wizards in a close one over the Kings. The Knicks obviously beat down the Lakers. Clippers over the Suns in a dominant fashion, now playing here tonight. So a second night of a back-to-back for the Clippers. That's going to be a tough one. And then the Cavs dominated the Blazers, and the Thunder ultimately dominated the Nuggets last night. But with that being said, we're getting ready for our tip-offs. Let's go ahead and lock in. Zubac versus Embiid. The 76ers win the tip. And here comes Barlow, who is in the starting lineup, by the way. So Oubre has it up top, and they get over to Embiid. Embiid being guarded by Zubac. Step back, mid-range fall away. Got to go for Embiid to start the game. He is getting to that mid-range game, man. Teams are going to have to adjust the way they guard him. Going to have to. Kawhi Leonard is up top, being guarded by Oubre. That's an interesting matchup. Oubre, a solid defender, but we know Kawhi, one of the best offensive players in the league. They get it over to Zubac, knocked out of bounds. And they say it's off of Zubac after Embiid got his hand in there. The ball's going to go back to Philly. Here comes Barlow. They get it in quickly. Barlow hands it off to Oubre. Oubre being chased by Kawhi. Oubre coming down the lane off the screen. Pump fakes. Leaves it off for Barlow. Low push shot over Zubac. Can't get it to go. Collins, good box out. Knocks the rebound out to Chris Dunn. Dunn bringing it down. No Harden, by the way. And Kobe Saunders down the lane. Loses the ball out of bounds. No, gets knocked out of bounds. So it's going to stay here with the Clippers. Kawhi on the right wing. Being guarded by Oubre. Catches. Pump fakes. Gets it out to Dunn. They swing it out. Around the horn. Over to Collins, left corner 3. Can't get it to go. Good contest for Philly. And here comes Philly. Maxey up top. Coming to his left. Off a Barlow screen, they swing it around. Embiid, home run pass inside the Barlow. Pulls it back out, gets it out to Edgecombe. Edgecombe foul line, pull-up jumper on the relocation. Can't get it to go. Saunders skies for the rebound. He's bringing it down the other way. Sanders, not Saunders. Sanders. They get it over to Kawhi Leonard in the post. They immediately bring a double team. Kawhi pulls it out, swings it, tries to swing it out to Sanders. Gets knocked out of bounds by Embiid. Double teaming Kawhi on the catch immediately. Anybody but Kawhi defense right now for Philly to start the game. Get it into Kawhi. Nick Nurse has been burned by Kawhi before. Kawhi pull-up three, can't get it go. Knows him well as they won a championship together. Kawhi can't get the pull-up three to go. Here comes Philly. Maxey dancing with it against Sanders. Down the lane, throws up the floater, looking for a foul. Doesn't get it. Battle for the rebound. And Zubac out-battles Barlow. Quick outlet to Collins. Collins bringing it down. He's going to put his head down and look to attack Embiid. Tries the Euro step past him. Gets the ball knocked out of his hands. Edgecombe comes over and picks it up. A bad decision from Collins. And now Embiid bringing it down the other way. Zubac will pick him up. Embiid walks into that mid-range. Hesitation. Pull-up jumper. Can't get it to go. Excellently contested by Zubac. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by Kawhi. Good battle from Barlow. And he's going to keep the possession alive. It's out of bounds off of Kawhi. And we are under 10, and it's still 2-0. Curtis Peterson, what's up, Curtis? Need stats for both teams on the screen. Cool hat. Appreciate you, Curtis. Appreciate you. I wish I could right now, but as of right now, this is how ESPN has it set up. And until I figure out a better website to use for the Gamecast, I'm going to leave it at this for right now. If you have any questions about who's doing what, I can scroll down for you. We can get both. We could get stats from both sides, brother. But I apologize the way it is right now. As of right now, we're going to keep it the way it is, but I am looking for better solutions. Nice pass down low to Zubac, who finally spun and got the easy baskets. Maxey just did knock down a three to get it to 5-2. Now Maxey bringing it down, being guarded by Dunn. Maxey up top, coming to right up the Embiid screen. Stepping back, puts up the right wing three. Yeah, now we get to friendly bounce off the front of the rim. One of the ways I could do it, Curtis, is if I just go to the box scores and leave the box scores up, but I don't love doing that. I could also scroll down and leave it here, and you can have the game leader stats, but I don't love that either. Kawhi can't knock down the mid-range jumper. Maxey clears with the rebound. It's 8-2. Maxey now bringing it down the other way after back-to-back threes. MBM, what's up, MBM? They get it over to Embiid in the post. They kick it out to an open Oubre left wing three. Got it to go. 3 straight threes for the Philadelphia 76ers, and obviously a timeout by Ty Lue. You got to call a timeout after that. And 8:45 exactly to go. We'll sync up our timer to 8:45 right here. 11-2 to go. 11-2 so far here tonight. And 3 straight threes for Philly. Not a good start defensively for the Clippers here. But a really good shooting start. Lana Monas, what's up, Lana? Are you a Clippers fan tonight? Probably. I'd probably be rooting for the Clippers to win over Philly. Why not? I don't really have a horse in this race. Philly is not threatening the Knicks in the standings at all, so it doesn't really matter. As a Knicks fan, it would be nice to see Philly lose because it's always nice to see Philadelphia lose. But I don't really have a dog in the fight. I'm really most looking for a good basketball game here tonight. Hopefully the Clippers don't let us down. They're down 11-2 early, and I let my timer sink too far down. My apologies. Suns Jen said, boo that man, Kawhi? I'm trying to think. What did Kawhi do to the Suns? Is this a Spurs thing? Or is this a Clippers thing? What did he do to the Suns? Why boo Kawhi, Suns Jen? Why boo Kawhi? Even if I do go to the box score, I'd have to shrink the screen so much. I don't love it. Right? The other way to solve this is to have 2 tabs open. The issue, honestly, is really just ESPN is a terrible setup here. They used to have both teams of hit that you could see here on one tab. Now you have to scroll all the way down to the other team. Just dumb. Son Jen said, oh, he took a bunch of money? I thought this was a fan hate thing. Like he did something to Phoenix. I was trying to think about it. I was like, is this like a Spurs? Like, did he ever take down the Suns in a bad fashion? He said it doesn't have to be the Suns related for me to boo. I get it. I mean, I will say, I think Kawhi, obviously wanted the money. But to me, it's more of a boo the Clippers organization thing. To me, that's a boo the Clippers more so than boo Kawhi. I mean, if somebody's going to offer me some money under the table and I don't even have to do anything for it, yeah, I might take that. Just that's in Maxey and Philly running quick. They are. Maxey loves to push the pace. They do have Embiid out there, so when Embiid is available, they do play a significantly slower paced game. But Maxey and Edgecombe can definitely push the pace on this Clippers team that does not want to run all that much. Right? They don't really want this being a half-court game. And so far, mostly it's been a half-court game, and yet Philly is still up 11-2 to start the game. It's a 9-point game. It's not anything crazy, but Philly has knocked down 3 straight threes to push it up to 11-2. Not a great start for the Clippers defense, not being able to stay in front of Maxey. Now, he did get a friendly bounce on the second three, so you could say some luck on their side here. It should be 8-2, which is a 6-point game and nothing. But Clippers offense is really the thing that you call a timeout for. It's sputtering. Sputtering right now. Only 2 points. Only one made basket. And that was a Zubac slip to the rim off the screen for an easy two-handed slam. That's it. That's the only thing they've made. They haven't made any perimeter shots. They haven't been able to knock down any mid-range jumpers, any threes, anything like that. No floaters. And they haven't really been able to get to the rim right now. So even outside of the defense, they gave up 3 straight threes. They can't score to keep up. If they were able to score, I don't know if LA has to call that timeout there. Here we go. We're back in. Collins gets it over to Zubac. Zubac backing down Embiid. Backing him down. Get it over to Kawhi, and they call an offensive foul. A moving screen on Collins. Knocks over Oubre. And 8:30 to go. Lana Mona said, Philly's on the road. Philly is on the road here in LA. We are in Intuit Dome. They get it up top to Embiid. Embiid being guarded by Zubac. Coming to his right, half spin, taking the baseline, stop, turn, spin to his left, puts it up off glass, can't get it to go. Barlow right there for the two-handed putback. Nobody down there helping out big Zubac after some good defense on Embiid, the force of a bad shot. You got to clean it up. Good defense from Zubac, but you got to clean it up with the rebound. Philly taking advantage right now of a team in LA that looks like they're sleepwalking a little bit. Chris Dunn down the lane, leans in against Maxey, throws up a tough falling away floater, can't get it to go. Really bad offense here for the Clippers. Just can't keep up. They're still sitting on 2 points. VJ Edgecombe to the rim, leaves it off for Barlow. Barlow gets the layup and the and one. And this is threatening to get ugly early here for the Clippers. What are we, for the Clippers, yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing? I know you're on the second night of a back-to-back, but my goodness. Getting ugly. Getting ugly. MBM said a blowout. Clippers are embarrassing. They have been one of the hottest teams in the league. They're like 16-3 over the last 19 games, but tonight they have not had anything going for themselves. Barlow knocks down his and one free throw. It's 16-2 with 7:40 to go. Kawhi up top. You got to stop the bleeding, Kawhi. You're the superstar. Kawhi coming to his left off the Zubac screen. They hedge out. Maxey staying in front of Kawhi. Just can put his head down behind the back. Great defense from Maxey here. Kawhi bullying his way into the paint. Kicks it out to an open Collins. Still can't get a shot to go down. Philly doing a great job of showing multiple bodies to Kawhi. Maxey played some great defense there to keep him in front of him and force him to eventually have to kick it out. Now Collins was open, but Philly just banking on a second night of a back-to-back and them not having the legs to shoot the three here tonight. Oubre gets into the paint, low fall-away jumper, can't get it to go. Zubac the rebound, hit out to Dunn. Dunn bringing it down. Tries to swing it out to Kawhi Leonard, a bad pass from Dunn. Oubre picks it off, and he goes down the other way for a two-handed slam. And now it's 18-2. Listen, 18 points for Philly, 16-point lead, crazy, whatever. We're under 7 minutes to go here, and the Clippers are sitting on 2 points. Kawhi a three, still can't knock it down. Battle for the rebound, and a loose ball foul on Philly, so the ball will stay here with the Clippers, but it's side out of bounds. This is getting embarrassing. 2 points? Anamona said only 2 points? Look, we can say whatever we want about Philly getting out to a 16-point lead. They scored 18 points so far. We're halfway through the quarter. They're on pace for 36 points. Sure, we can say whatever we want about that. 2 points is crazy. You're on pace for 4 points here tonight in this first quarter tonight. Kawhi off the handoff, swings it out. Kobe Sanders, and he finally breaks the seal. Gets another made basket, this time from 3. That's a big-time shot. Now to 13. And you battle your way back into this one and at least make it respectable at the end of the first here. Edgecombe bringing it down. They get it over to Embiid. Embiid wide open on the pick-and-pop midi. Can't get it to go, but they can't snag a rebound. Barlow outworks everybody down low and snags it. Zubac was not down in the paint as he was out on the perimeter hedging out off a screen. So somebody got to get down there and snag a rebound outside of Zubac. 20-5. Kawhi crossing over down the lane, takes some contact, throws up the floater. Can't get it to go down, but he will go to the foul line for 2 free throws. One way to stop the bleeding, get yourself to the foul line. Just that said, Kawhi gets mad at Zubac. Zubac is the only guy who's showing up doing his job so far here tonight. So far, it's kind of been Zubac, and I'm looking around. Maybe Kobe Sanders. I mean, he just knock down a three, so maybe give him some credit for that at least. Kawhi knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. Kawhi knocks down both. Here comes Maxey, bringing it down. Maxey has it up top. Being guarded by Dunn. Hands it off to Oubre. Oubre being guarded by Leonard. Oubre gets stripped by Kawhi. Ball knocked loose. Kawhi picks it up and just picks his pocket. Kawhi's bringing it down the other way. Goes up. Gets chased down. Blocked out of bounds. Off of Philly. It's going to stay here with the Clippers. Usually Kawhi's pretty good at drawing fouls in that situation. Good defense from Philly. Not give him an easy one. Still 13-point game. Not out of the realm of possibility. They can come back and make this somewhat interesting. Get it to single digits going into the second. Get your offense back on track. My goodness, 7 points so far. They kick it out to an open Collins, right corner three. Continues to misfire, but Kobe Sanders right there for the tip up and in. He is their leading scorer so far here tonight. He's got 5 points. Kawhi's got the other 4. 2 guys. That's it. They combined for 9 points so far here tonight. Pocket pass to Embiid from the edge comb off the screen. Kicks it out in the corner to Oubre. He fires up a right corner three. He can't get it to go. Embiid able to snag the rebound and a loose ball foul on John Collins, who's been a bit of a disaster. So has Chris Dunn. You got to get some subs in here. Collins is going to come out. Going to come out for Lopez. Interesting double big lineup. Zubac and Lopez in. Not sure if I've seen the Clippers go to this. Clippers fans would have to let me know if this is a lineup they go to regularly. They get it into Embiid, being guarded by Lopez, faces up, knocks down the mid-range jumper over Lopez. Everybody playing off of Embiid, they're so afraid of the fouls. Chris Dunn has it up top. They get it over to Zubac, gets it out to Leonard. Leonard coming to his right, now coming to his left off the Zubac rescreen, crossing over to his right, mid-range pull-up jumper. A lot of contact at the jump shot, no foul called. Kawhi very upset, the no foul call. Here comes Edgecombe bringing it down the other way. 5 minutes to go. Edgecombe dancing with it, steps back, kicks it over to Barlow along the baseline, goes up, layup, can't get it to go, gets his own tip, can't get it to go. And a foul, a late foul. Is that Zubac or is that Lopez? That's on Zubac, and Barlow will go to the foul line for 2 free throws. Just under 5 minutes to go here. Son Jen said he's the longest tenured player, I think. Who's the longest tenured player? Joseph Dad said, I saw a highlight of Kawhi slamming the ball after Zubac giving up a pick and roll layup. That's pretty normal. Pretty normal. Son Jen said, sounds like a fun guy. Just a fun guy, man. That's all he is. He's just a fun guy. I got some subs in here for the Clippers. They got Jordan Miller in. They got Nick Batum back in. Not back in. He's in for the first time. Zoo, the longest tenured guy. Sounds about right. After the Lakers literally gave him up for nothing. Don't know why they did that. Literally gave him up to their crosstown rival for literally nothing. I think like a second-round pick and a G League guy or something. It was bad. It was bad. Barlow knocks down both free throws. Kobe Sanders has it up top. He's being guarded by Edgecombe. Sanders spins. Ball knocked out of his hands. But Batum able to pick it up. Back to Sanders. Sanders coming to his right. Leaves it off for Miller. Jordan Miller has it up top, being guarded by Maxey. Hesitation move, down the lane, leans in, throws up the floater, rattles it in for Jordan Miller, just bullying his way past Maxey. Maxey stayed in front of him, but not big enough to contest. We've seen that story before as Knicks fans. They lob it over to Quentin Grimes, wide open left corner three, miscommunication for the Clippers, and they continue to really struggle to rebound the ball as Barlow picks up another offensive rebound, kicks it out to Edgecombe, can't get it to go, and then finally Zubac secures the rebound. You would think the rebounding would get better with Lopez and Zubac out there, but Lopez is a horrific rebounder for a big man. They swing it over to Lopez, though, an open three, and he got it to go, and it's only a 10-point game with 4 minutes to go, y'all. Not too bad of a recovery here for the Clippers if they can keep it at single digits going into the second quarter. They get over to Embiid, mid-range, pump fakes, as Zubac comes over to pick him up. Embiid in the post, one-legged fall away, good defense from Zubac, and they continue to battle on the boards, but this time they're able to pick it up. Here comes Jordan Miller bringing it down against Edgecombe. Loses the handle. And Barlow just picks it up and goes down the other way for a two-handed slam. My goodness. Every time the Clippers are like starting to build some momentum, they just shoot themselves in the foot. My goodness, so many self-inflicted wounds. Miller back up top, coming to his right up the Zubac screen, now snaking it back to his left hand in the mid-range. Takes it out to Sanders. Sanders being guarded by Edgecombe. Sanders pulls it all the way back out, having to isolate, crosses over, leans in, mid-range, fall-away jumper for Sanders. Got it to go. He's got a nice touch on that jump shot. Back to 10. Stops and scores for the Clippers just to make this one interesting again. Quick, Maxey, quick crossover down the lane, draws the foul. He's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. And we are just under 3 minutes ago, almost exactly 3 minutes ago, 2:59. Sun and Jen said both LA teams are bonkers. They are. They are. Just that to the Winter Olympics start Friday. Shout out to Winter Olympics. There's no basketball, so I don't really care. Sun and Jen said I do enjoy the Olympics. Most people do. Olympics are fun. The Olympics are fun. Ran by a corrupt organization, but what isn't these days? Barlow has dominated this game today. He's got 11 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. He's 4 for 6 from the field. Maxey's knocked down 2 threes. Embiid got 4 points. He's 2 for 6. I think Zubac has done a really fine job in Embiid making it difficult on him today at least. Edgecombe's 0 for 2. If they could just stop Barlow from rebounding the heck out of the ball, it wouldn't be that bad. It wouldn't be that bad. Sun Jen said, so bad, but athletes can be amazing. Athletes are amazing, and it's always amazing to watch athletes be amazing. I don't disagree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. As for the Clippers, if they didn't have Kobe Sanders step up, I don't know where they'd be. Kobe Sanders 3 for 3 from the field, including a made 3, which is very important, obviously. They have had very few of those. Brook Lopez also knocked down a 3. He has not snagged a rebound, though. Part of the reason I assume they put him in there is to have the double bigs, to have more guys to throw at Joel Embiid, and yet he can't rebound the ball. Kay Hazy said, Barlow's better than I thought he was. He's been solid this year. You know, I thought he was kind of thrown in there by Philly to start the year, like, yeah, they're just looking for active bodies as they started the year with Embiid hurt, Paul George was hurt, McCain was hurt, Grimes was hurt. And so I was like, yeah, they just need bodies. They're throwing a big body out there, and, you know, Dominic Barlow, he's fine. He's an energy big. But he's gotten a lot more confident, a lot more skilled. He's a legitimate part of their rotation, and they're a deep team. You know, they're a deep team, and he's a legitimate part of the rotation. They have him in there over Watford, over Jabari Walker, guys who I think are, you know, NBA rotation level players. He's really solid. Now, the Clippers are making him look like a superstar today. He's got 11 and 6 early here in this first quarter, and he averages like 8 and 4. But the Clippers really just can't rebound, and Barlow's taking advantage of it. I think it's actually, I don't know. Zubac is, you know, preoccupied with the Embiid matchup, and I think he's done a fine job tonight, both, you know, defensively and rebounding. But you can't just rely on one guy if he's preoccupied with the Embiid matchup, right? If Embiid's taking a shot, it's highly unlikely that Zubac is going to be in position to grab a rebound. So everybody else has to battle down low, and nobody else is wanting to battle down low. And that's including Kawhi, who gets to start a power forward tonight. Now, maybe that's the issue. But either way, they put in, and it is the issue. Oh, it's John Collins, actually, is the power forward. So John Collins has done a terrible job here tonight trying to keep Barlow off the glass. Dominated the game. MBM said, what are the Clippers doing in the draft? They don't have anything in the draft. They traded all their draft picks, MBM. They don't own a draft pick. They gave it all to Oklahoma City in the Paul George deal. We come back from timeout. Maxey's at the foul line for his 2 free throws. He gets the first one to go. Got another one coming. Maxey goes 2 for 2 from the line. And here come the Clippers. Little full court press here from the 76ers. They have Bona in the game now, trying to speed it up. They have Grimes, Bona, Maxey, Barlow, and Jared McCain has come in. They swing it out to Lopez, driving to his right, spins to his left. Down the lane, flips it up the left hand. Got it to go over Bona. Took about 17 steps in that move, but there is no traveling in the NBA, and he gets the lefty layup to go. Here comes Maxey bringing it down the other way. They get it over to McCain, back to Maxey. Maxey gets it over to Grimes, driving to his left, over to Bona. Bona out to Maxey. Shot clock down to 7. Maxey, dribble, pull up, 35-footer, got it to go. I'm killing them from three-point range. That's not even specifically bad defense, but you got to be a little bit more connected to him on that one. But that's a 35-foot. I'm pulling up off this screen anyway. Lopez trying to answer with the left wing three, way off, hit the side of the backboard. Not even close to the rim. Overshot it by a mile. Here comes Maxey, quick crossover, sidestep right wing three. They call a foul on the floor before the shot attempt. He missed it. Doesn't matter. MEM said, so they're stuck on mediocrity for a while then? I wouldn't necessarily say that. Are they in the bonus? I think they're in the bonus. Yeah, Maxey's at the foul line for 2. It was a foul on the floor. Wow. In the bonus, too. I wouldn't say they're necessarily stuck in mediocrity, MBM, because Kawhi is old, Harden is old, and outside of them, they have no ability to improve their draft capital situation unless they're looking to trade somebody like Zubac, which he's a guy who will have value around the league. They'll get stuff for him. As Maxey knocks down both free throws yet again. But they are a team that once Kawhi and Harden like really dip down in their careers or decide to hang it up or whatever the case may be, they will drop down to be one of the worst teams in the league. They'll be Brooklyn Nets status in the next couple of years. So they're not locked into mediocrity forever because those guys will not be around for forever, and so they will still be dealing with the decision to trade all those pieces. Jaron Miller draws a foul going to the rim, but it is a foul on the floor. 1:44 to go. Jeff Brown, what's up, Jeff? Nice big win yesterday. Nice big Jared Allen game. Who do you guys got next, Jeff? Batum gets it into Lopez. Hands it off to Miller. Jordan Miller down the lane. Against Bona. Step back. Crosses over. Leans in. Draws yet another foul. Jordan Miller doing a good job drawing fouls. Second straight foul drawn. So he's going to go to the foul line for 2. This time in the act of shooting. Oh, you got the Clippers. That's right. That's right. That's right. Or did you play the Clippers? No, you have the Clippers coming up. That's right. I think we looked at their schedule before we started the night. Tonight is their second game on a back-to-back. James Cook, fair with James. Brooklyn Nets status. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, just getting blown out by 50 every other night. It's a tough situation to be in. Miller knocks down his first free throw. You got Wednesday. Taking them on Wednesday. Jordan Miller split the free throws, made the first, missed the second. Maxey gets it over to Grimes. Grimes coming to his left off a Barlow screen. Nash dribble under the rim, kicks it out to Miller. McCain down the lane, kicks out to Barlow, putting his head down, bump Euro, throws up the floater, comes up short. A Dembona drop from the Raptors, hanging in the air for just a split second longer, waiting for the ball to bounce off the rim, and he throws down the putback with a left-handed slam. 35-19, a 16-point deficit here for the Clippers. They had it to 10, and it looked like they were going to start building some momentum. And then Zubac came out of the game. Maxey pokes the ball loose from Miller. And now here comes Maxey. Pull up another 35-footer. He's feeling it tonight. He's feeling it tonight. This might be an early night. We waited all night to get to this game. My goodness. Goofy Erasing Channel. What's up, Goofy? What happened to Kawhi? It's the second night of a back-to-back. Kawhi did not open the game playing particularly well. And now he's on the bench. Ball away, push shot for Lopez. Can't get it to go. And here comes Maxey for the final, should be shot of the quarter. It's about a 5-second difference between game clock and shot clock. It's about 7. About a 7-second difference. So Maxey will hold on to it. The Clippers should have one more shot remaining here. Maxey dancing with it, crosses over, sidestep three, he's feeling it. Comes up short on that one. But he's very, very loose with his handle. Clippers not applying any pressure to him out on the perimeter. Batum fires it at the buzzer, way off at the side of the backboard. Nothing going right for them here tonight. It is that kind of night for the Clippers. They are down already 19 points. My goodness. My goodness. Okay, he said, why is McCain back in the lineup? Did he impress them during garbage time? Maybe. He's coming off 2 back-to-back solid performances. He's got his three-point percentage back up to 37 with a couple of really nice performances. He's back, seemingly back in the rotation right now. Here's the thing, K-Hazy. They're going to have to make a decision. They're going to have to make a decision between McCain, who is in the second year of his rookie deal, and having to pay Quentin Grimes a pretty hefty contract this offseason for a team that is paying Paul George and Joel Embiid very hefty contracts, and Tyrese Maxey very hefty contracts. So do they really want to have to be in a position where they're negotiating with Quentin Grimes and possibly pushing them up closer to that second apron limit and really limiting their roster movement from then with a Quentin Grimes signing? Probably not. Probably not. So do you let Quentin Grimes go this offseason? Keep McCain. Hopefully he can slide into that Quentin Grimes role. Considering you have control over his future with his rookie contract, only in his second year this year. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they're just giving him playing time to bait some team in the offseason for overpaying for him. He wasn't in the running for Rookie of the Year last season before the injury. Maybe all he needs is an opportunity to continue to build rhythm coming back from the injury. Who knows? Who knows? Just that, allowing 38 in the first, all part of the game plan. I don't trust the Clippers' ability to come back in games. I think they're a let go of the rope type of team and organization. They go down big and they let go of the rope. Right? So if they can't get this, if they're down 20 at halftime, we're going to seriously evaluate how long we're going to stick around. Usually my limit is 25, because you don't normally see 25-point comebacks in the NBA. Like those are usually very, very rare occasions. Not often, but usually teams come back and at least make the games interesting in a 20-point deficit. So if they go down 25, I'm going to start looking at them sideways, depending on how they come out in this second quarter. You may just have a bum night. It wasn't a very good NBA slate anyway here tonight. John Docino, what's up, John? Philly. Might be an early night for you, bro. It might be, John. It might be. Like I said, not really a great NBA slate of games here tonight. Obviously, we have 76ers Clippers here today, who I thought was probably the best matchup. Two of the better teams in action tonight. Rockets Pacers played a fun, interesting game, but I'm not really interested in watching a 13-win Pacers team right now. Hornets played the Pelicans, and the Hornets are on fire, and I would have liked to watch the Hornets play, but not interested in watching them play against a 13-win Pelicans team. Just that's a Chris Paul still in the roster. Technically, yeah, he's still getting paid to go lay on a beach somewhere. And then he had Grizzlies, Timberwolves. One of the more interesting outcomes here tonight. Timberwolves take a loss to the Grizzlies. But really not interested in watching a really unhealthy Grizzlies team. No John Morant, no Zach Edey. So it wasn't like we didn't have a great slate of games to choose from here tonight. Figured this was our best one. I even put it up in a poll last night. This is the one the community voted for. I probably would have thought this one was going to be the most entertaining one as well. It has not panned out for that so far tonight. But like I said, hopefully the Clippers can come back and make this somewhat interesting. All right, here we go. Kawhi is back in. Make something happen, Kawhi. Putting his head down, pump faking, going up. Knocks down a floater, start the quarter. All right, Kawhi. All right, make something happen. 17-point game. Stops and scores. MEM said paid to stay away, but we will retire your number. Exactly. We will pay you to leave us alone, and we'll retire your number later. Off a screen, Jared McCain knocks down another three here for the 76ers. Nothing but net. That three-point shot looking like it's coming back from McCain. Kawhi Leonard takes it out to Miller. It's now a 20-point deficit. They swing it out to Lopez. Pump fakes. Lopez tries to get it down low to Collins. He does get the foul on Jared McCain, who grabs him. Lopez hands it off to Collins, swings through to his right. Collins has gotten some open threes tonight. He's not been able to knock anything down, but he spins into the lane and knocks down a scoop layup there. Maybe Collins is just needed a quarter to get loose. Second night of a back-to-back for the Clippers. Second night of a back-to-back for Philly as well. Is it the second night of back-to-back for Philly? I don't think so. I know second night of a back-to-back for the Clippers. We'll look at the schedules again. As Oubre knocks down the left corner three, every time it looks like Philly LA scores, and it looks like maybe they could start building momentum off of it. The 76ers come back and knock down a three. And Quentin Grimes runs into Jordan Miller, foul on the floor. It's 44-23, a 21-point lead, largest lead of the night for the 76ers so far here. Just that said, was Paul George taking a mental health medicine to get the suspension? I heard conflicting stories. We don't know. He put out a statement that said that that is what he was banned for taking an antidepressant. So I'll take the information from the horse's mouth there. That's what he says it was, and that's what it was. So wishing him the best. Takes full responsibility for it, so it is what it is. Here comes VJ Edgecombe bringing it down. Edgecombe. Just that's it. 25 games is a different number of games to get suspended for. No, 25 is the standard for a drug violation. 25 games is standard. That's like the minimum. John Collins picks up a foul on the drop-off pass to Adembona there. As Lopez just fell into both of them. He fell over and knocked Collins into Bona and then fell on top of both of them. Outside of that one made three, Lopez has been a bit of a disaster here tonight. Pass faking inside the Bona, two-handed slam. And the Clippers continue to look like they're falling apart here. 46-25. It is a 21-point game. Again, my threshold is 25. Because you don't see 25-point comebacks. But who knows? Who knows? Obviously, we'll give them halfway through the third quarter. If they're down 25 halfway through the third quarter and they don't show any signs of building momentum, then we might end the night early. But we'll give them a chance. Jordan Miller gets an open three. Breaks it way too strong. Barely grazes the rim. But Kawhi right there for the awkward bounce rebound, and he throws it back down. Grimes down the lane. Oh, my goodness. Posterizes John Collins. So they're knocking down threes all over the court. Quinn Grimes getting lanes of the rim and getting poster dunks over Collins. My goodness, what are we doing here tonight? Clippers looking embarrassing. Kawhi to the rim, gets the scoop layup to go. Kawhi getting his numbers, I'll tell you that. MBM said Clippers playing no defense. None at all. None at all. Edgecombe just putting his head down, attacking. Gets fouled by Lopez. Lopez wants to immediately waves the finger for the challenge. MBM said 25 games and no game checks is expensive. I mean, the guy... Paul George is not struggling, brother. He's fine. He's fine. Take your time off. Put your feet in the sand somewhere. Take your mental health break. Get right. And then come back. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Just that said, did he appeal? No, he took responsibility for it. He said, I was taking something for my mental health that is on the banned substance list, that it was a mistake to take it. I didn't intentionally look to take something that was on the banned substance list. I take responsibility for it, and I'll be better moving forward and whatnot. So, no reason to appeal it. Pleads guilty. Edgecombe knocked down, split the free throws, knocked down the second one. Kawhi has it up top. It's 50-29, still 21-point game. They swing it out. Collins, a left corner three. Can he finally make one? He finally makes one, folks. I believe he was 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 going into that shot right there. He finally got one to go down. It's back down to 18, hovering around 20 here. The Clippers incapable of building momentum because they can't get any defensive stops down the lane. Edgecombe misses the layup, but Adembona right there for the offensive rebound and putback, and the rebounding has been an absolute abject disaster for the Clippers here today. Nobody rebounding outside of Zubac, and one man can't save a rebounding battle against 5 others. Kawhi, a step back 3, got it to go. Maybe Kawhi's going to get cooking here. Knocks down the step back 3. Nope. Yep, a step back 3. Thought they called it a long 2, but it was a 3. McCain bringing it down. No Embiid, no Maxey. So this does not bode well for the Clippers. Still a 17-point game. Pump fake from Oubre. Down the lane, leans in, throws up the floater. Comes up short, but gets a friendly roll, and he gets it to drop down. And again, Clippers offense starting to get back on track, but they're getting no stops whatsoever. Why is my timer stopped? They're getting no stops whatsoever. We got 8 minutes to go. Kawhi down the lane, scoops, draws the foul on a pass out the last second, though. So it'll be side out of bounds. Angel A1 Jerome, what's up, Angel? Making a piss stop. What's up, Angel? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, as always. Okay, said Philly is really lucky with these young guns. Yeah. I mean, they moved up in the draft, won the lottery, got to 3. Made the correct choice with Edgecombe. Although, apparently in this draft, it looked like there were no bad choices. Kawhi sees a double team, sprays it out to Chris Dunn, back to Kawhi. Kawhi steps back, crosses over, pump fakes, gets caught in the air, and throws it to nobody. And Kawhi and the Clippers doing a little too much there. Kawhi looking for some help. Nobody there to give him help. Quick hit ahead. Oubre, right wing, up top to Edgecombe. 7:30 to go. Edgecombe coming to his left. Pull up 3 for Edgecombe. Comes up short. Another offensive rebound and put back for Barlow. Literally nobody down low battling for a rebound for the Clippers. Literally, there's 3 Clippers standing right by Barlow. They're standing right next to him. They're standing right next to him. Let me see it again. Yeah. They're all standing right next to him, man. Let me see if I could pause this and show you guys. That is hilarious. So he pulls up. Shot comes up short. He's literally Zubac is right here. John Collins is right here. Chris Dunn is coming down because he got screened off, and so he's supposed to switch on to Barlow. But if you're going to switch on to Barlow, you're supposed to bump him on his way to the basket. That doesn't happen. Okay, it is what it is. John Collins has to come over and bump Barlow to at least knock him off balance so he can't just go straight up and grab the rebound. And Zubac possibly has to do the same. They have to kind of pinch together here in the paint because right now Barlow is in the prime optimum position for an offensive rebound. My goodness. John, though, said they need Harden to control the ball. If not, they're lost. It's looking like it, John. It's looking like it. You would think that Kawhi would be able to lift a little bit of the offensive responsibility back. At least make it somewhat respectable, but it is very clear they have no ball handlers outside of Kawhi right now. Relying a lot on Jordan Miller, Kobe Sanders kind of minutes, and I don't know if that's going to work out for them long term here tonight. Especially on the second night of a back-to-back. Why is Harden out? Personal reasons. Okay. Not going to question it. Personal reasons is personal reasons. Outside of that, we know they lost Bradley Beal, but Derrick Jones Jr. is a guy who's really important for them, who's been out for a while, but that does not excuse tonight's performance. Sometimes you have one of those nights. We've seen every team have them. Sometimes you have one of those nights, but not KHZ. What's up, Not? Man, Clippers so bad. Tonight they're so bad. They were previously one of the hottest teams in the league. We can look here. They're starting off the year horribly. They had 6 wins in a row before losing to Chicago, then 3 wins in a row before losing to Denver, and then they beat Phoenix the other night in a dominant performance. Zubac had 20 rebounds that night. Kawhi had 25. Dominated the Suns. Second night of a back-to-back against Philly. They are an old, rickety team, so back-to-backs may just be their Achilles heel. Did not take that into account when we decided to watch this game. But again, a bad performance is Suns said rub it in then. I'm just calling it as I see it. It happened. Unfortunately, it happened, but it did happen. NBM, no box out whatsoever. They do have Cleveland, Sacramento, Minnesota, Houston, Denver, Lakers, Orlando, Minnesota. Pretty tough schedule outside of that Sacramento game. Pretty tough schedule after that. So. Did also lose to the Knicks, by the way. I mean, look at this. They started to turn it around after a 5-game losing streak. And then they beat the Lakers, they beat Houston, they beat Portland, they beat Detroit, Sacramento, Utah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-1, 7-1, 7-2. They lost New York. Just wanted to point that out. 7-2. after the New York loss. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 2, 13 and 3 after losing to Chicago. 14, 15, 16 and 3, and then they lost to Denver. So 16 and 4, and then 17 and 4 over the last 21 games. So 21 games, they've been fantastic. But you know. Foong Pei, what's up, Foong Pei? Oubre lines up a three, can't get it to go. Collins with the rebound, bringing it down the other way. Comes Miller, left side of the court. Jay Hammer, what's up, Jay Hammer? Too much white screen for this late at night. My bad, Jay Hammer, my bad. Clippers swinging it around. Jared Miller, cross-court pass to Collins. Collins down the lane, shoves it over to Zubac. Zubac with the two-handed slam and the foul. Can this get them back on track? Can they get back on track? Why is my timer so far behind? 5:46 to go. Foong Pei said, when did the NBA turn into 1984? Multiple Dallas Mavericks fans were ejected from an American Airlines Center game in February 2025 for expressing fire Nico sentiments. That is old news, brother. Nico has been long gone. That is old news, big dog. It is also a little bit of a disturbing the enjoyment of other fans in the arena kind of thing. So it's 42-58. 16-point game. Clippers, Los Angeles, either way. On their way back, a pull-up three from Maxey. Could be a backbreaker. Ooh, halfway down, but he can't get it to stay. Here comes Kawhi. And now my screen's buffering. Kawhi down the lane, hesitates, spins, pump fakes. They bring a double, they kick it out. Sanders, the three, could go a long way. Off the back of the rim, can't get it to go. Maxey chases down the long rebound, bringing it down the other way. Got to get another stop. You got Kawhi on Maxey now. Maxey cuts back door. Kawhi knocks it loose. Any other player in the league, you probably get that backdoor pass from Embiid to Maxey there, but that is Kawhi Leonard right there. That's Kawhi Leonard. '76ers swinging it around. They get it over to Embiid. Embiid hands it off to Maxey, being guarded by Dunn. Coming to his left off the Embiid screen. Pocket pass to Embiid. Jab step, puts up the straightaway three for Zubac. Comes up short. Zubac, some really good defense on Embiid tonight. Here comes Chris Dunn bringing it down. It's a 16-point game. Another score here would go a long way. Trying to get it close to 10. Kawhi almost turns it over, but knocked out of bounds by Philly. They are doubling Kawhi almost immediately after he touches the ball here. If he catches it in a half-court setting, they are doubling him on the catch. If he's bringing the ball down, they're waiting for him to initiate an action and then bringing a double team over immediately. Kobe Sanders throwing up a jumper in the paint over Edgecombe. He was spun all the way around, had to kind of turn around and just throw it up at the rim with the shot clock winding down, and he got it to go down. 14-point game and a timeout. A timeout for the 76ers. Clippers not out of it yet. Trying to keep us around. Not out of it yet. 58-44. Not bad. Not bad for the LA Clippers here. Battling back, slowly but surely, working their way back into the game. This is why 20-point leads, comebacks happen all the time. Especially when it's that early in the game. All you got to do is continue to build momentum. Now, it's 14. Not like they got it back to single digits yet. You guys know my 4 layers of a comeback. Talking about get it to single digits, get it to a single possession, take the lead, and then obviously ultimately win the game. Not said my under is so cooked. Looking at game flow, it looks like the Clippers defending. They're picking up their defense a little bit here, but I think also Philly getting a little too comfortable with the early lead there, kind of jacking up a couple of bad shots. They could definitely work the ball around a little bit better, but absolutely the Clippers definitely picking up their defensive pressure a little bit here. Locking into the game. Maybe they just needed a quarter on the second night of the back-to-back, a quarter to kind of round back into form. And Philly was absolutely explosive with their three-point shooting to start the game. So maybe that just compounded into a 20-point early lead there, and the LA Clippers will slowly battle back and get back into this one. If they can have it hovering around 10 going into the second half, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Barlow still 15-8. Maxey up to 16, though. He's now taken over as the leading scorer of the game. Not that I need defense. True, they're above 50%, I think, in three-point land and field goals. We can look at it real quick. So Philly's taken 8 more shots. They're heavily winning the possession battle so far here tonight, 40-32. As far as three-point shooting goes, Philly is 47% from 3, 7 for 15 from three-point range, or 53% from the floor. Clippers are 56% from the floor, 4 for 13 from 3. The biggest differential is the possession battle, 40-32, is pretty substantial so far. Taken 4 more free throws. They've made 5 more. They're winning the rebounding battle 6-2, or 18-12. They're winning it by 6, and the offensive rebounding battle they're winning 7-2. Most of them by Barlow, just running down the middle of the lane for easy offensive rebounds. John Doe says Sixers have been bad in the third quarter, so it's definitely not over. Fair. I hope it's not over. I hope we get a fun, interesting game. If they can come back and make this interesting, I'd appreciate it. Not said, rebounds absolutely killing the Clippers, though. It has been the thing that is, to me, that has given the 76ers the lead tonight, or as large of a lead as they've gotten. I think the three-point shooting has given them the lead, and the rebounding has extended the lead to 20+. Pretty crazy. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe the rebounding has given them the lead and the three-point shooting has extended. Either way, the combination of losing the rebounding battle and the three-point battle is detriment to any team trying to stick around in an NBA game in 2026. Ronald McPaul, what's up, Ron? Clippers need rebounds. Wake up, Zoo. I think Zoo's done an okay job tonight for the most part. He's really the only guy who's done anything on the rebounding on the boards aggressively. Down the lane, Oubre can't get the finish over Zubac. Again, he's contesting majority of these shots at the rim. You need somebody else to come clean up the boards. You're not too often going to be able to contest shots at the rim and also grab rebounds. Kawhi step back mid-range jumper, too strong, can't get it to go. Long rebound, Edgecombe pulls it out, bringing it down the other way. Edgecombe on the left wing, Euro steps down the lane, gets tied up, loses the handle, kicks it out. They swing it around to Wofford. Extra pass over to Edgecombe. Edgecombe fires up a 3, and that's a backbreaker. He rattles it in. MBM said Sixers not good enough to keep the Clippers from coming back to make it look decent. We'll see. Like I said, old rickety team in the Clippers on the second night of a back-to-back. And an off-ball foul on Embiid. Trying to match up with Zubac down low. So Zubac is going to go to the foul line for 2. They're in the bonus. 3:30 to go. Sync up our timer. MBM said Philly gets physical, and it's over. Clippers have not fight crazy turnovers as well. Not said at least Clippers picked it up. I did check earlier. It was 17 rebounds to like 9. They have picked it up. They have been a little bit better. Barlow had 6 rebounds in the first quarter. He's got 2 here in the second. So they picked it up a little bit at least. Not so true, like a close game at least. I mean, I'm not a Clippers fan or a 76ers fan, so at the very least, they could give us a close game here. I'd appreciate that. Zubac missed the first free throw, but he does knock down the second one at least. Can't be missing free throws if you're trying to make a comeback here. It's a 16-point game, 3:30 to go. Again, if they can get hovering around 10, talking like 12, 10, maybe 8, even get into single digits would go a long way for their efforts in the second half here. They swing it out to Wofford. Wofford gets it back to Embiid in the post. Again, Zubac puts up the hook, can't get it to go. Over Lopez, excuse me. Lopez, great defense on Embiid. Good job not fouling as well. They hit ahead to Zubac. Zubac steps back, cross-court pass to Lopez, catches, swings it up top to Dunn. Dunn coming to his right, the Lopez screen, crossing over, coming to his left, leans in, throws up the floater, throws up an air ball. Maybe he got blocked from behind by Oubre there, who was rear contesting. And then a foul on Chris Dunn as Embiid falls to the floor, where he spends majority of the game. Flopping to the ground. Are they in the bonus as well? Or is this side out of bounds? This is side out of bounds. They're not in the bonus yet. Embiid has it in the mid-range. They swing it out to Wofford. Back to Embiid. Embiid, left wing, up top. Being guarded by Lopez. Jab set. Step back. Midi. Can't get it to go. Collins. Here's the rebound. Kicks it out to Sanders. Sanders will bring it down. They're out there with Lopez, Zubac, Sanders, Dunn, and Collins. Sanders kicks it out. Chris Dunn, wide open left corner three. Can't get it to go. Not a good three-point shooter. Now here comes Edgecombe, bringing it down the other way. Shovels it over to Maxey, back to Edgecombe. He's going to line up a three. Philly very much clearly feeling it from three-point range. Zubac, a good strong rebound down low. Clippers are pushing it 3-on-2. They leave it off for Lopez, gets to the rim, and misses the finger roll scoop layup over Maxey. Brother, you can't miss those. You're trying to mount the comeback here. Bringing all momentum, and if Oubre knocks down the three, if he knocks down this three right here, it is a huge backbreaker as they just calmly push it right back up to 19 with 2 minutes to go. I asked for a 10-point game, at least hovering around 10 going into the second half, and they have pushed it the other way, now hovering around 20. Collins in the post against Oubre, leans in, hook shot, can't get the hook floater to go down, but he does draw the foul on Oubre, so it'll send him to the foul line for 2. 1:49 to go. 19-point deficit. Okay, he said Embiid literally fell for no reason. How could he sell the contact if he doesn't fall to the floor, even though he got fouled by being whacked on the arms? And he wonders why he has knee issues. Collins misses a free throw. Trying to mount the comeback. All these missed free throws for LA. Gonna catch up to them. This should be hovering around 15 if they could just knock down their free throws. Grimes subs back in, so they're out there with Embiid, Watford, Grimes, Edgecombe, and Maxey. Not that I would never understand how you're in the NBA and miss 2 free throws in a row. As Collins misses the second free throw. It is my biggest pet peeve in the NBA. I talk about it all the time. I don't understand. Like my bare minimum is 70%, and that's a low bar for me. Grimes, a right corner three, wide open, got it to go. And just like that, we're ballooned back up, the largest lead of the game, actually, 22. 67 of 45. Philly in position to put up a 70-point first half. Chris Dunn draws the foul here on Maxey. Is it in the shooting? On the way up? Is he shooting it? They're giving him 2? I think that they're in the bonus anyway, so it's 2 free throws. So it doesn't matter. 1:20 to go. Chris Dunn at the foul line for 2. MBM bombs away. Philly is definitely feeling it from the perimeter tonight. I mean, Maxey came out firing from 3, coming off the screens, lining up 35-footers. So, having to survive that is tough. But the Clippers have compounded that issue by shooting themselves in the foot by not rebounding at all tonight. And they've put themselves behind double figures very early in the game. It started off 11-2, and it has not really gotten better ever since then. Chris Dunn does knock down both free throws at least. Appreciate that. Appreciate some made free throws. Here comes Maxey bringing it down. They're holding on to a 20-point lead, 67 of 47. A little over a minute to go. Grimes up top. Swings it over to Edgecombe, over to Embiid, down low to Watford. Tried to get the reverse layup, draws the foul. Going to go to the foul line for 2. More bad defense. Clippers are trying to rely on a zone here, and immediately gets broken by the Clippers. Immediately gets broken by the Clippers. Not that I'm a Rockets fan, and a couple of weeks ago we played like 3 games shooting 30% from the free throw line. Most painful watch. We've had a couple of games like that as Knicks fans, not. We've had a couple of games like that where it's just, even outside of Mitchell Robinson, I'll throw Mitchell Robinson to the side because he's one of the worst free throw shooters I've ever seen in my life. His low bar is the lowest bar I'll ever set. Nah, give me 50%. Watford splits a pair of free throws there. But everybody else got to be at least over 70, and most guys got to be over 80. Brook Lopez in the post knocks down a little push floater off a little drop step. Still a 19-point game. We do watch a lot of Rockets games. We do cover a lot of Rockets games just because they usually play on off nights where the Knicks are not playing. They call it a loose ball foul as players falling all over each other. It looks like Lopez hit the floor and then Embiid tripped over him. They call a foul on Lopez, who was just wrong place, wrong time, buddy. Wrong place, wrong time. They call it on the floor, but aren't they the bonus? Not sure. Not said, oh, nice, I'll be here. Yeah, it just so happens that the Rockets find themselves playing on a ton of nights where the Knicks are not playing. So my priority is to always cover Knicks games first, and then if the Knicks are not playing, we'll find another basketball team to cover. And the Rockets are one of the best teams in the league, and they tend to play very good games. I know they played tonight, but they played the lowly Indiana Pacers. Not all that interested in watching the Pacers. Sons Jen said, do you think guys have just quit practicing free throws? No, it's guys have always struggled with it. It's not like there's been a drop-off in free throw shooting in the league. Guys have always struggled from the free throw line. What I think it is that you have 20,000 people watching you. You are standing at the foul line by yourself. You are huffing and puffing and tired, and you've just been banging with a bunch of dudes all over the court trying to get to the basket, and you just got probably knocked pretty hard fighting to get to the rim, and you got fouled, and now you're at the foul line trying to rally yourself, wipe the sweat off your face, take a deep breath, and then suddenly the crowd gets very quiet, and everybody's staring. 20,000 people are staring at you, and nerves kind of take over. Batum can't knock down the three. Who's the Yannick Niederhauser? As he gets an offensive rebound and putback, what's his name? Yannick Conan Niederhauser. Shout out Yannick Conan Niederhauser. He actually grabbed an offensive rebound and a putback. Embiid did knock down both free throws, by the way, so it's 70-51, 15 seconds to go here. Forgot to restart the timer, but Maxey has it up top. Being guarded by Dunn, spins to his right, pulls it back. A 2-second difference between game clock and shot clock to get it to Embiid. Puts his head down, attacking, looking for a foul, and a late foul. A late foul for Embiid. Going to send him to the foul line for two. He put his head down and went to the basket. Drew the foul. So Embiid back at the foul line. So Embiid's at the foul line for two. Knocks down the first one. Got another one coming. Still keeping it around 20. Tough night. Really tough night. Like I said, my tap out number is 25. If they get this to a 25-point game, the game is pretty much over. You don't see 25-point comebacks very often in the way Philly's playing tonight. And the way the Clippers are playing. I don't expect the Clippers to be able to pull that off. They get it into Jordan Miller. He's going to rush it down the other way to the basket. Lefty layup. Got it to go. Embiid just gave it to him. Didn't want to pick up a foul. It is 72. Embiid knocked down both. 253, a 19-point game at the end of the first half here. Okay, look. 19-point comeback happens. It happens. We'll see. We're going to give the Clippers the third quarter benefit of the doubt. If they're down 25 halfway through the third, we'll end our night early, unfortunately. I do live here on the East Coast, so it is already 11-12 p.m. here. I'm not going to stay up past midnight for a team that's losing by 20, right? So we're going to give the Clippers an opportunity here to win their favor back here tonight and get us to hang around and stick around and continue to watch this game here tonight. It is the last game on. It's not like we have any of the options to pivot to. Sometimes we have options where it's like, you know what, this game's not good. Let's pivot to another one. We don't have any options here tonight. Every other game is already wrapped up. The Hornets beat the Pelicans earlier today. Rockets beat the Pacers. And then the Grizzlies knocked off the Timberwolves. Tough game for the Timberwolves. Definitely needed that one. Maybe not needed, but definitely wouldn't like that one to stay out of that play-in race. And then the Clippers 76ers game here today should have been one of the better games. Has not worked out that way. The 76ers have dominated this game from the tip. Literally opening the game, the Clippers over the first 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes of the game were stuck on 2 points. So over 5.5 minutes, they scored 2. And it was a nice slip pass to Zubac for a dunk about 3 minutes into the game. So really, really struggling to score the ball to start the game for the Clippers. If we go to the box score here, we can look at the team stats and everything. But 38-19 in the first quarter, and that might end up being the killer because they did score 34 points in the second. But they also allowed Philly to score 34 points in the second. So the defense has just been bad. Their Offense has kind of sputtered up and down, trapped in the 90s. What's up, trapped in the 90s? Appreciate you, brother. Their offense got off to a really bad start and barely recovered in that first quarter. They got up to 19 points, couldn't crack 20, and then in the second quarter started to get back on track. They jumped up to 34 points scored in that quarter, but still definitely not good enough overall. They tied. They tied the second quarter. If you want to mount comebacks, you're going to have to win quarter by quarter by quarter and hopefully chip away at this lead. They didn't. The lead is maintained. They could not outscore Philly in the second quarter there, so now it's 72-53, still a 19-point deficit for them. So, again, we're going to give them an opportunity. Depending on how much fight we see the Clippers have here in the second half, it might end up being an early night. I hope not. I hope the Clippers can mount at least a comeback, even if it's a fake comeback. I'm not rooting for the Clippers to win. I don't really care. I don't have a dog in the fight. All I'm really rooting for is a good basketball game. If the Clippers can give that to us here tonight and make it interesting, I'll take it. Take it. All I'm asking for. Trapped in the 90s said, big game Friday? Which one is that one? The Detroit game? The Boston game? Because we got two big games coming up. Knicks have a Washington game coming up tomorrow, so they should be able to take care of business. And they got Denver. Got to take care of Denver. Nikola Jokic is back. Detroit is playing Denver tomorrow. So the Knicks will be on the second night of a back-to-back against Denver on Wednesday. Denver will also be on the second night of back-to-back, but they will be on an East Coast run. They just got smacked up by the Thunder. Now they got to fly over to Detroit, play Detroit at Detroit, and then fly over to New York to play New York at New York. Right? So that is a tough turnaround for the Denver Nuggets with Jokic just coming back from the injury. Doesn't look like they're going to have anybody else back from injuries with Aaron Gordon out for another month. With Christian Brown, no real news up on him. And Cam Johnson, no real news up on him. So really tough situation for Denver to be in. We've seen them overcome a lot of these games so far this season, but really tough stretch here. They got smacked up by the Thunder. They have Detroit tomorrow, and then on the second night of a back-to-back, they have the Knicks. Now, the Knicks will also be on the second night of a back-to-back, but they are not the ones traveling on the opposite coast. As far as Friday, which is what Trapped in the 90s is talking about, they played the Detroit Pistons at Detroit. 7:30 primetime game. It is essentially prime time game, prime video game on Amazon. And then Sunday, they also have a very big game, 12:30 p.m., early afternoon game against the Boston Celtics, which they're tied for in the standings for the 2 seed. So really big games for the Knicks coming up, really big week. You have Washington, which should be a tune-up game. Don't allow this to be a trap game. They've won 6 in a row, make it 7 in a row in a dominant fashion against the Washington Wizards. And then you have Denver, Detroit, Boston. Really tough 3-game stretch there. I will take 2-1. Obviously, I want 3-0, but I'll take 2-1. Don't go 1-2. Do not want to see that. And then you have another tough game, Indiana. Don't be fooled by their schedule. They have been feisty as of late. They took Houston down the stretch here today. They are getting healthier. Whoa, Clippers and Cavs are in. Whoa. Just reported James Harden involved in a possible trade for Darius Garland of the Cavs. Whoa, just announced that they're on Peacock. All right, hold on, we got to pick it up. We got to look it up. Whoa. Where is this news? Where can I pick up this news? Suns Gen said, what on earth? All right, they have it up on screen here. Said reports Clippers and Cavs have had advanced talks on James Harden Darius Garland swap. Trapped 90 said, Woj, we miss you. Woj would be all over this right now. Do I have to bring up Sham's Twitter account? Has he reported on this? I did see it was Chris Mannix. So if anything, I'll go over to Chris Mannix's Twitter account and see what he's posted about it. I'm going to bring up Sham's account. Literally, he's got no information on it. Wow. Shams is a sham. NBM said Harden Garland swap. I don't know about that if I'm Cleveland. That reeks of desperation. I don't know if Harden's the guy I'm targeting. If I'm the Clippers, I'm like, please, if I'm the Clippers, I'm like, please give me the younger guard with a brighter future rather than old James Harden. Jeff Brown said we don't want Harden. I don't blame you, Jeff. I don't blame you. All right, let me look up Chris Mannix. He was the guy who put out the report. Now, it's not a trade that's gone through or anything, but they have had advanced talks. Go to his account. See if he's tweeted it out. They have it up on the Peacock stream here, but they didn't give it too much talking about. He posted it 12 minutes ago. So that's all really he's posted. Clippers and Cavs have had advanced discussions on a James Harden-Darius Garland swap. So that does not mean that the deal has happened or even imminent, but you don't put a tweet out like that and report it in that way if it's not like something that's going to happen. The Clippers have rallied into play-in race while the Cavaliers are trying to keep pace in a muddled Eastern Conference. Cleveland Cavaliers, LA Clippers, let me pull it up for you guys. From Chris Mannix on SI. Ads all over the place, I apologize. Cleveland Cavaliers and LA Clippers have had advanced discussions on a deal that would send James Harden to Cleveland in exchange for Darius Garland. I would assume the Cavs would be well compensated with picks. Actually, I can't even assume that because they don't have any picks to compensate them with. The deal would represent an exchange of former All-Star guards. Harden, 36, has been a workhorse for the Clippers this season, averaging 20. All right. Garland, 26, has battled injuries this season. He missed Cleveland's first 7 games recovering from off-season toe surgery and has been sidelined since January 16th with an ankle sprain. On the season, Garland is averaging 18 points per game. Yeah, but still, I take Garland 10 times out of 10 over Harden at this point in both of their careers. Trapped in the 90s said, smoke and mirrors. I think moves will be made hours before the deadline. I tend to agree with you, Trapped in the 90s. Absolutely. I agree with you majority of the time, especially in this trade season where everybody's waiting on the Harden shoe to drop, and then I think you'll see a flurry of a couple trades, but Sons Jen said Harden propaganda. Yeah, that's why I skipped over it. Harden propaganda. Don't give me that Harden propaganda. 36 years old, man. He's 36. He's never been a good defender. He's a career playoff dropper. You're looking to win a championship, you're not going to do it with Harden. He doesn't give you a better chance of winning a championship than Garland does. And Garland is the younger player. I think you just stick by him. I don't think Harden, Donovan Mitchell is a better option in the backcourt than Garland, Donovan Mitchell. Trav the 90 said Harden will show up to Cleveland with the fat suit. He's got the fat suit locked and loaded. You think he's going to stay in Cleveland after living in LA for a couple of years now? No way. No way. He went from Houston to New York to Philly to Los Angeles. You think he's going to go to Nowheresville, Cleveland, and be happy? Absolutely not. Harden is definitely the type of guy who's like, get me out of these smaller markets, man. I'm a big city kind of dude. MBM said, could be friction in Cleveland. I think they're just desperate. I think they're really desperate. I think they are very desperate, Cleveland. George Jones, what's up, George Jones? What are the strip clubs like in Cleveland? Not great. Not great. Also, not a ton of options. You know, that is a big swing factor for James Harden's happiness, for sure. I mean, is Jeff Brown still in the chat? Jeff, what are the strip clubs like in Cleveland around the arena? Is James Harden going to be happy there if that trade does end up happening? Sunshine said, that's what I'm saying. It sounds ridiculous on the Cavs' part. I'm implying Harden is planning propaganda to raise his perceived value. I don't think Harden has to really do that. I think I don't even think his agents have to do that. I think people around the league are fascinated with Harden because he's a walking triple-double threat. He's still in his old age averaging 25 and 8, which is valuable to put up stats like that, but we know he's a career dropper, a career playoff dropper. We have more than enough evidence. He does not show up in the playoffs. You think that you're going to go to Detroit and battle that defense in as hostile an environment in Detroit and get the best out of James Harden in the playoffs? You think that he's going to be able to perform in Madison Square Garden in a hostile environment come playoff time if the Cavs have to match up with the Knicks or the Pistons, let alone any of the other teams, whatever. Those are obviously the two teams they're competing with this year to make a finals run. You think that that James Harden, if they make that Garland swap, if it happens, it has not happened yet. But do you think that is going to that he is going to show up in those games in those hostile environments? Jeff Brown said, I don't know. I don't stay in the land. I stay in Akron. Appreciate you, Jeff. Appreciate you. Sons Jen said, okay, not for me or my teams. Thank you. Yeah. You know, I mean, the way Chris Mannix reports that, with it being advanced talks, I don't know, man. If I were a Cavs fan, I'd be nervous right now. Dylan Rivera, what's up, Dylan? Possibility of the Clippers winning tonight? Pretty low, brother. Pretty low. If you're thinking of putting a bet in with Clippers money line, I'm not a bettor. I'm not giving you any advice here. I will say back in the day when I would put a couple of bets in here and there, one of my favorite things to do was scan the NBA that night and put money on teams possibly making a comeback, because comebacks happen far more often nowadays than they used to. They're far more likely with the advent of three-point shooting and the three-point revolution and whatnot. So it's a decent possibility, not a good one. Not good. More likely they just end up losing tonight, even if they do make a comeback and make it interesting. But not out of the realm of possibility they could pull the comeback off. Trapped in the 90s said, I thought LeBron was going back to Cleveland. Probably not. Probably not. He said, but it's the Buckeye state. Harden can enjoy all the Buckeyes. Sunjan said, I'll give the membership if he actually goes there. I mean, as a Knicks fan, I'm hoping for it because I think it makes their team much worse in the long run. It might help them in the short term because Harden puts up numbers. He's a regular season guy. But come playoff time, that's just food. Not worried about him one bit. Ronald said, does the trade reduce the Cavs' overall salary? What's Garland's contract versus Harden's contract? It depends. We don't know what the framework of the trade is. It's not just going to be Garland and Harden traded straight up because the values aren't the same. So we don't know what the trade would be. But if I just look up Harden's contract, we're getting back for the second half here. Harden is making how much this year? That Sport Track does not want to load. Thanks for that, Sports Track. What is he making? 41 this year? Something like that. He's making 39 this year. Whereas Darius Garland is making how much? Sons Gent said LA teams, bonkers, insane. Darius Garland's contract is what? $39,000. So they could kind of actually be traded straight up for. It's about a $300 difference, $300,000 difference in their contracts. So maybe. That was a fun halftime excursion there. They swing it out Collins a three to start the second half. He got it to go. All right, Clippers, make this interesting. That was a nice, fun distraction for our halftime rundown there. Not much to go over in this blowout. Maxey will pull up three trying to answer. He answers right back. All right, LA. All right. What do you want to do tonight? I know Maxey's got it going from the perimeter. Great, but you're really not applying any ball pressure to him right now. Kawhi down the lane, pump fake, spins, pivots again, flips it up with the right hand, comes up short. Kawhi, his own offensive rebound, draws the foul and gets the putback. He's going to the foul line for one more. Getting the 3-point right back. MBM said, when does his contract expire? Harden has a 2-year deal, so his contract, he's got this season and next season. And next season is a player option for $42 million. Garland he signed through the 27-28 season, so we are in the 25-26, so he's got next year and the year after that. So he's got 2 years after this season, Garland. Harden only has next year. Kawhi knocks down his and one free throw, so it's 75-59. Embiid, a foul line jumper, got it to go. Trading baskets, still trading baskets. Still not good defense for the Clippers here as Phillies come out. Still knocking down shots. Kawhi down the lane. He's trying to take things into his own hands. Chris Dunn fires up a three, can't get it to go. Long rebound and a foul on the Clippers. 18-point game. MBM said Giannis going to Golden State. Now, how would he end up in Golden State? MBM, how would he end up in Golden State? You think Milwaukee wants Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, and a bunch of whatever picks? Now, maybe they'll say, yeah, those Golden State picks after the Steph Curry era, interesting. But, nah, brother. Nah, they're not interested in that. They can get way better packages than that. Embiid knocks down another mid-range shot. Kobe Sanders trying to answer. He does. Trading baskets, like I said, trading baskets is not how you make a comeback. At least the offense is moving and grooving. But now they have to find a way to stop Philly from scoring. Ron said Kuminga is a Cream City kind of guy. The wording is crazy on that. They hand it off to Maxey, swings it out to Embiid. Inside to Edgecombe, inside to Barlow. Pump fake goes up, layup, got it to go. Beautiful ball movement from Philly. LA left scrambling around. They just can't stay in front of the 76ers. They're not even really like beating them with speed or anything like that, but the ball movement is spectacular for Philly right now, and the Clippers look like a step slow. I get they're on the second night of a back-to-back, but we are more than halfway through the game now. Kawhi all the way mid, he got it to go. Eric Villanueva, what's up, Eric? Can you show the Clippers stats? I can scroll down for you, brother. We'll leave it there for a bit. Show the Clippers stats. Kawhi, Collins, Zubac, Dunn, and Sanders in the game. Edgecombe fires a three. Can't get it to go. Kawhi with the weak side rebound. 81-63 here. 9 minutes to go. Kawhi dancing with it. Pull-up three for Kawhi. Knock him down. Can't get it to go. Zubac battling on the glass, but Barlow still able to grab it. Now Maxey up top. They get over to Embiid. Down low to Maxey. Swings it out to Edgecombe. A three. Can't get it to go. Battle for the rebound. If I do this, where does this go? On the other end, Kawhi gets a layup. Kawhi dragging them back in. 16-point game. Got to stop and a score. If I do this, where does that put that? So can we leave it at this? That might be fine. That might be fine. We might leave it at that, y'all. How about that? How about that? 8:30 to go. You guys prefer this? Prefer this? I can't have it like that because then you can't see rebounds and assists for the Clippers. I might have to keep it like that. Is this preference? I know I don't have the game cast up anymore, but you do get to see who's on the court for both teams. Eric, I got you, Eric. You subscribe? I appreciate you, Eric. Hope you're having a good time tonight. I'm not sure how important it is to have the game cast on versus it is to have the players on the court. So you guys got to let me know what you prefer. What do you prefer? Not said Zubac and Collins at 3 PF? What do you mean 3 PF? What does that mean? And if we do have it like that, John Doe, John Duncena, my guy John Cena, Barlow's balling. He is balling, man. He is balling. I could probably extend the chat to be a bit bigger now. If we did want to have it like that. Oh, fouls. You're talking about fouls. 3 personal fouls. Gotcha. So Collins with 3, Zubac with 3. Yeah, Chris Dunn has 2. Kawhi doesn't have 1. Kawhi's up to 20 points, though. I mean, he's really the only guy who has had anything going offensively. Zubac with no Harden kind of doesn't really have much of a game. He's sitting on 6 points right now. Jeff Brown said, hope the rumors are fake. It is reported by Chris Mannix, who's pretty reliable, not always 100% reliable. The way he phrased it, to me, is a little weird that they've had advanced talks, which would make me worried, Jeff. If I were you, it would make me worried. Advanced talks sounds like there's some sort of framework being worked on and communication between these two teams where a trade will get done. I'm with you, Jeff. I think that makes the Cavs worse now and into the future. You're giving up the younger player, but we don't know the entirety of the deal. They could be getting back other assets as well. Who knows? But, yeah, I would not be excited about a Garland-Harden swap. Kay Hazy said, I bet you can get a Gamecast widget? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Kay Hazy? I know what a widget is, but, like, what do you... a Gamecast widget to... I'm going to have to fix you Western Conference pronunciations. What have I pronounced wrong? What have I pronounced wrong? I feel like my pronunciations are mostly good. But if I get something wrong, definitely let me know. A little pop-up app to show on screen. Oh, I guess like on my browser, you mean? I was thinking like, do you mean on my browser? Or do you mean like on my streaming software? I could look into it. I could look into different Gamecast functions. I could also have this ready and also have something like this ready for the Gamecast if ads could ever stop playing, and we could bounce back and forth between these two. So I could be here, and I could be here. We could just bounce back and forth when we need to, like this, right? If we want to watch the Gamecast for a little bit, we want to look up the stats, who's on the court, we could count. Maybe I could do that. That'd work. Sunjet said Zubats. Zubats? Is that supposed to be like bats? Like the animal? Zubats? Because I've always heard it as pronounced as Zubac. If I've been heavily pronouncing the C, Zubac, I'll call them Zubats. Zubats. Right? Zubats, right? Like an H in there. Ba. Ba. Like a sheep. A ba. Zubats. Offensive rebound. Philly gets it back. Embiid knocks down a 3. Has been the story of the night. They call it a long 2? Not sure about that. Not sure about that. All right, here we go. 8 minutes to go. The Clippers used a challenge. I don't even know if they were successful or not. And then another turnover. Maxey, a pull-up 3. Off the back rim, long rebound. Knocked out. Out of bounds. It's going to stay with it's going to go to the Clippers. They called it a 3 here, but they only gave them 2 points. So it's 83-65. Keep an eye on that. All right, here we go. Let's have this set up here. This setup here. So this might be our new setup. We'll have this set up. Bots. Okay, I got you. Zubats. I got you. So we'll have that set up there for when we need to get that, as Kobe Saunders knocks down a 3. When we need to get to the Gamecast, and we'll leave it here for the most part so we can see who's on the court and check out the game stats. Sanders with the straightaway step back 3. Got it to go. There it is. It also is a good call, Eric. I appreciate you, brother. It's a good call because you guys are watching a stream of me, and I'm watching a stream of the game. So we're just heavily delayed out here. And so the Gamecast always finds a way to be ahead of us. So this is probably just the better move overall to just have the stats and who's on the court for both teams here. Probably better overall. Edgecombe got the layup and one, by the way, off the good ball movement. All right, let's get back to calling this game. The problem is that it's not been a great game. I forgot to give Kobe Sanders his 3. Kobe Sanders has been phenomenal. Has Kawhi made 2 3-pointers, Eric? He has not. I think he's only knocked down 1 3. We'd have that and the box score set up, so we could bounce through all 3 of those things. Gamecast, box score, and the player stats. I can tell you right now, Eric, I'm pretty sure he's only made 1 3 tonight, but he has made, he's 1 for 4 from 3-point range so far tonight. He'll probably make another one. Probably. Trapped in the 90s said Harden misses Philly, just not Doc Rivers. Few players do end up missing Doc Rivers as they move on. He said Maxey just treats these games like shooting practice. Oh, yeah, for sure. You can see he's having fun out there. There's been multiple times where he's taken some really bad shots, but definitely just like, let me try this one right here. Let me try a rhythm step back 3 in the middle of a game. We're up 18 and we have all the momentum in the world anyway. He's just trying things. Sons Jen said you're particularly good about pronunciation in some of your teams. You don't see often. Have a few tricky ones. I definitely don't get them right all the time. I do know that. So again, if I ever get anything wrong, definitely correct me on it. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people mispronounce names, but also don't try to correct themselves. Have respect for the person. To me, a sign of respect is learning how to pronounce someone's name correctly, especially, as an American, a foreign-born guy is going to have a hard name to pronounce. Oftentimes, we put in the work to learn how to pronounce Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? We put in the work to learn that. And we should offer that type of respect towards every other player in the league, whether they're as large as a part of the league as like Giannis is as a superstar, or if they're just a random role player in the league, or a G League guy, or a two-way guy, or whatever the case may be. Trav in the 90s said Philly definitely has the most dangerous backcourt. I mean, going into the future for sure, between Maxey and Edgecombe, for sure going into the future. As of today, I don't know if I would do that. I still have Cleveland up there with a healthy Garland and a healthy Mitchell. Backcourt, dangerous backcourts. I mean, Philly's up there. Philly's up there for sure. They should definitely be mentioned. Sons Jen said, I came into the chat when you had the hiccup incident. Literally never happened before, Sons Jen, and has literally never happened since. It was literally a one-time thing. MBM said Edgecombe and Maxey is a nasty deal. It is, and it's only going to get nastier. It's only going to get nastier. There has been some rumblings that people have speculated. I don't know if this is like something that Philly is even considering, but people have speculated that if Philly wanted to get into the Giannis sweepstakes, they could include Edgecombe, and that's the young blue chip guy, and then give up a couple of picks in order to go out and get Giannis. If I'm Philly, I don't want to do that. If I'm the 76ers and I'm the GM, I don't want to do that. Because I do think the future of this team is pretty cemented between Maxey and Edgecombe, and that could allow you to move forward. It would allow them to get off the Paul George contract, but at this point, you only have 2 years remaining after this season of Paul George. And a year remaining before he becomes an expiring contract, which could become valuable all of a sudden. So I would just ride it out with Paul George. I have Maxey. I'll lock up Edgecombe for the future. You have Embiid. Hopefully the next contract he signs is at a discount, should be at a discount with all the injuries. He'll be older. He won't be as good of a player. So you should be able to have Embiid as kind of like your aging third guy at center. Hopefully he ages gracefully in some regard. Can come off the bench at some point for your team. And then you really just start playing through Maxey and Edgecombe. And Edgecombe has, in my opinion, legitimate superstar potential. Like, I think this guy is like future all-NBA level player. So they take the 2-point basket away from Philly. And now they call... what is this? An offensive foul on Maxey? Pushing off on the ball handling. So it's 84-68. 16-point lead for the 76ers. And 7 minutes to go. Trapped in the 90s said prescription P. Hey, brother. Got to do what you got to do for your mental health, man. So the Clippers have it. Collins swings through to his right, tries to get it down low to Zubac. Edgecombe knocks it loose. They swing it out to Sanders. They run him off the line, leans in, fall away midi. Sanders has a nice jump shot on him. Collins with the offensive rebound, though, and goes up with a two-handed slam. 14-point game. Again, battling back. Not out of the rim possibility. They can make this interesting. Embiid has it up top, being guarded by Zubac. Coming to his left, hands it off to Edgecombe. Coming to his right, driving it down, gets caught in the air, kicks it out to Oubre. Pump fake, jab step, spins, got nowhere to go, kicks it out to Maxey. Over to Embiid. Embiid fakes the handoff down the lane, pump fake, puts up the floater. Got it to go. Nice, calm, and collected move for Joel Embiid. Not rushed, not forced. Took his time, stayed on balanced. Kawhi has it on the left wing. They show two. They swing it out. Extra pass. Back to Collins. Pump fakes. They run him off the line. Pulling his way to the basket off glass. Can't get it to go. Zubac battling on the boards. Knocked out of his hands. Here comes Oubre. Oubre over to Embiid. 14-point game. Maxey on the right wing dancing with it. Crosses over. Down the lane. Throws it up. Can't get it to go. Looking for a foul call. Doesn't get it. And then the ball knocked out of bounds by Oubre. And Oubre saves a possession there, in my opinion, for Philly, because Maxey fell down and ended up falling into Barlow. So it would have been a 5-on-3 situation for the Clippers, and Oubre was able to knock it out of bounds and allow Philly to come back and set their defense up. Again, they show Kawhi a double team inside to Chris Dunn, who knocks down any easy floaters. Embiid caught in no man's land trying to guard two players between Dunn and Zubac there. And it is a 14-point game yet again. They get it to Embiid in the post. They kick it around as they doubled Embiid. Maxey wide open for a three. Can't get it to go. And now they lob it down low. Kawhi catches, pump fake, reverse layup. Got it to go. 12-point game. 12-point game. If this is under 10 going into the fourth, shout out the Clippers, man. Make it interesting. Maxey coming to his left. Picked up by Zubac. Swing it over to Embiid. Embiid throws up the three, draws the foul on Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn trying to signal that it was a foul on the floor, but brother, why are you fouling anyway? Embiid going to the foul line for 3 free throws. Terrible defense for Chris Dunn. Kind of been quietly a disaster all night. He's not been good defensively and has been disastrous offensively. Why are you guarding him that way if you're Chris Dunn? Why are you putting hands on Joel Embiid? He's out by the three-point line. The shot clock's winding down. You have your defense set up behind you. Just stand there with your hands up. If he decides to shoot it over you on the right wing from three, and he makes it, it is what it is. But you can't give him easy shots at the foul line. Embiid knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. He's also a knockdown free throw shooter. We're past the halfway point of this third quarter. Forgot to have the timer going. My apologies. 5 minutes to go here in the third. We will catch up while Embiid is at the foul line for three. Driving the dine, he said Kawhi is about to stop joking around and turn into the claw. I mean, he's been the only guy who's got anything going tonight. He's got 22 points. The second leading scorer is Kobe Sanders with 14. So Embiid knocks down the second one. He's got one more coming. Grimes subs in here for Philly. Embiid knocks down the third. And here we go, under 5 to go. I know my timer's a little bit behind, but we will catch up. They get over to Kawhi. Kawhi up top. Kawhi being guarded by Oubre. Pulling it out, double team. Gets it over to Dunn. Dunn, same spot, same floater attempt. Got it to go again. Trading threes for twos, though. Again, that foul on Embiid out by the three-point line, a little bit disastrous for Dunn. You got to be able to get it back on the other end. He's knocked down 2 floaters, which is nice. They swing it around to Oubre, wide open right corner 3. Collins flying at him. He throws up an air ball. Chris Dunn bringing it down the other way off the Zubac rebound. Dunn up top. Lobs it down low to Kawhi. He's got post positioning and a foul on the floor on the pass attempt inside to Kawhi. 4:19 to go. MBM said Kawhi needs 40 to win this. Well, he's going to have an explosive fourth quarter then. He's at 22 and he subs out now. So let's see if the Clippers are going to be able to survive down 13 here. The Kawhi-less minutes with no James Harden tonight. MBM said Sixers only shooting threes. Yeah, and they made them all in the first half. Not so much so far here in the third. But if the Clippers continue to give them open threes, I don't like their chances. Lopez is in for Well, Zubac remains in the game. They're still going to the double big lineup. Chris Dunn manipulating down the lane to kick it out to an open Lopez, a corner three. Off the back rim, can't get it to go. Long rebound, Maxey able to corral it. Home run pass up top to Oubre. Hop step in the lane, puts up the floater, well contested, comes up short. Battle on the glass, battle on the glass, battle on the glass. And Dominic Barlow just absolutely sunning Brook Lopez down low as he bullies his way into the paint, knocks the ball up into the air multiple of times around and over Lopez as Lopez had positioning. Barlow knocked it up in the air, then knocked it off the backboard, then out-jumped Lopez a third time and drew the foul and the putback, and he knocks down the free throw. So a three-point play for Barlow there. My goodness, Dominic Barlow continues to be dominant on the board tonight against a really bad Brook Lopez. I mean, Lopez has always been bad at rebounding, but in his older age, it's gotten even worse. My goodness. NBA Barlow is a beast. I mean, shout out Dominic Barlow. This has to be a career night for him at 20 and 13 so far. But my goodness, has Brook Lopez and the Clippers as a team made him look like a superstar tonight. Wilson said, I need one more three-pointer Edgecombe to hit my slip. Rooting for you, brother. Rooting for you. Who knocked down that shot right there? Zubac got the layup to go. Maxey down the lane, step back, mid-range fall away. Answers right back. Been a back-and-forth affair, man. A back-and-forth affair. But to the detriment of the Clippers, who went down by 20 early. So a back-and-forth affair and a moving screen on Zubac. He is extremely frustrated. Eric Moore Jr. said, I need Sixers 100 by the end of the quarter. Sixers 100 by the end of the quarter. It's in at 94 with 3 minutes to go. Can they score 3 more baskets in 3 minutes? Probably. Probably. I think they'll probably get it, brother. 3:30 to go. Embiid has it up top, hands it off to Maxey, especially with Embiid and Maxey in the game. Maxey, a step back three. Comes up short. Jordan Miller, a rebound for the Clippers, bringing it down the other way. Coming to his left. Pull up three for Jordan Miller. Comes up short. Flying in is John Collins. You can't get the putback dunk to go down, though. Here comes Barlow bringing it down the other way. In and out dribble. Hands it off to Maxey. Maxey coming to his right. Pulls it back. Shovels it over to Embiid. Knocked loose. Maxey able to pick it back up. Gets it back out to Embiid. Embiid driving to his left. Leans in. All the way midi. Off the back rim. Can't get it to go. Batum with the rebound. Fourth quarter, asking myself, why is Batum in? Here comes Miller down the lane. Loses the handle. Picks it back up on the left wing. Dancing with it. Gets it over. Swings it around. Collins down the lane. Gets caught in the air and a foul on the drive. 2:30 to go, y'all. 2:30 to go. 94 to 78. Clippers have it in respectable lane here. But man, oh man. They get it into Collins, being guarded by Barlow. Little fall away mid-range shot out of the post, and Collins got it to go. Trendon Wofford is in the game now, along with Edgecombe, Embiid, Grimes, and Barlow. Edgecombe up top, swings it over to Embiid. Embiid hands it off to Edgecombe. Edgecombe dancing with it. Down the lane, mid-range pull-up jumper, comes up short. Rebound for Jordan Miller. Gets tied up by Edgecombe, knocked loose. And they're going to call it out of bounds. Edgecombe immediately signaling for a challenge. I definitely think he's right. That should be off of the Clippers, but they're going to give the ball back to the Clippers here. And the Clippers quickly get it inbounds, not allowing Nick Nurse and the 76ers coaching staff to even think about challenging it. Kobe Sanders has it up top, spins off of Grimes, down the lane, stops. No-look pass inside to Jordan Miller for a two-handed slam. Beautiful cut from Miller, but bad defense from the 76ers. And guess what? It's a 12-point game, y'all. 12. 12. 12. It's 12. 12 with 1:46 exactly to go here. Not bad, man. Not bad. 1:46. We'll run our timer down a couple of minutes here. If you go into the fourth quarter with the lead hovering around 10, that's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. James Houlihan, what's up, James? The Clippers are playing like garbage. Yeah, and it's a 12-point game. They're playing like garbage. You're right. Surprisingly, still not out of it. They got a puncher's chance. They have not played well tonight at all. I agree. We've gone around the league. We know all of the final endings here tonight, but if you guys have not been around, 102-95, the Hornets beat the Pelicans. Rockets beat the Pacers 118-114. No Kevin Durant here tonight, and they still were able to take down the Pacers, even though the Pacers are one of the worst teams in the league so far this year. But don't be fooled by the Pacers' bad record, man. Pacers are spunky. They are getting healthier, so not a bad win. If I'm the Rockets, not a bad win against Indiana in Indiana, right? On the road, East Coast game, not a bad one. Grab the 90 said, what happened to KD? Probably just old. Probably just out with old. Sometimes you're old, and you have to be out with old. Out with ankle. I don't know what that necessarily means. Probably just some injury management type stuff. Here we go. We're back in. Embiid fires away into the mid-ranger. He can't get it to go. And suddenly the shot's not falling down for Philly. The Clippers have a very interesting opportunity here. They could either cut it to single digits at 9. They lob it over the top to Collins. Catches. Pump fake. Goes up. Contact. Draws a foul. Going to the foul line for 2. Collins can get this to 10. And the Clippers are building momentum, by the way. And the Clippers are building momentum. Not bad. That looked like a clean contact from Embiid there, unless they call it on the body or they call it on Wofford or something. But either way, Collins at the foul line for 2. And he's taking his free throws. Knocks down the first one. Got another one coming. Collins misses the second one. It's still sitting at 11. One more stop and score, and you can get the first layer of a comeback down. You get over to Grimes. Grimes coming to his right. Pull up 3. Got it to go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Quentin Grimes said, not today. Back up to 14 it goes. Philly has had an answer no matter what LA has been able to do. Down the lane, Jordan Miller gets the lefty layup to go. Where was this offense earlier in the game when they needed other guys to step up? McCain has it up top, hands it off to Grimes. Grimes spinning, coming to his right of the screen. Hesitation move, down the lane, swings it out. McCain, a left corner 3. Got it to go for Jared McCain. And the bench has come in for Philly and started lacing some threes here. Just like that, it's back to 15, rounding out the end of the quarter here. Sanders dancing with the ball down the lane. They swing it out to Batum, extra pass. Lopez will fire straight away 3, comes up short. Brother, they needed that one. Cut it to 12 and then get a stop going into the fourth. Not bad. Suddenly 15 going into the fourth feels a lot worse. McCain up top being guarded by Miller. Coming to his left. They get it to Embiid. Nope. Jordan Miller jumps the passing lane. He's going to go the entire length of the court the other way for the easy layup. And with only a second to go, Grimes launches 3/4 court, not even close. And, okay, 13, not bad. 13's not bad. 15, I wouldn't feel great. I know it's only a 2-point difference. It's only one made basket. 15, though, just feels different than 13. Obviously, you would have preferred 10, or 12. But again, not much of a difference. If you can come out with the right kind of mentality in the fourth quarter and quickly cut this to a single-digit lead and then suddenly put some pressure on Philly to continue to make shots, you find yourself in a battle towards the end. At least the Clippers are making it interesting, right? It got real iffy there in the middle. It was really iffy in the middle there. As the lead ballooned to 22 at one point. Eric Moore said, soon as I need them to score, now they can't make a shot. Trapped in the 90s said, which games are you streaming tomorrow? The Knicks game, brother. We're streaming the Knicks game, Trapped in the 90s. Of course, we stream every single Knicks game. We don't miss them. They take priority over every other team. The Nuggets are playing the Pistons tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that. When the Knicks play, their tip-off is at the same time. So we'll keep an eye. We'll be around, and if they don't wrap up, if the Knicks wrap up first, we'll stick around and watch the ending to Pistons-Nuggets if it's close. Obviously, hopefully the Nuggets can pull off the victory as the Knicks are chasing down the Pistons for the 1 seed, and they don't have a great shot at it. They're 5.5 games behind them, and 6 back in the loss column. So not out of the realm of possibility, but definitely need luck on their side now. The Knicks start at 7 p.m., so of course we'll be live at 6:30 for their usual pregame rundown. Lakers taking on the Nets, Jazz, Pacers, battle of the bottom there. You got the Hawks, Heat, battle of the mid. You got Celtics, Mavs, NBC game, interesting game. Mavs are feisty. So maybe not the easiest game for the Celtics, but the Celtics have been dominant as of late, blowing out teams that are way below them. So that could get nasty early. Hopefully the Mavs keep that one close and can pull it off. Magic's taking on the Thunder, Bulls taking on the Bucks. Not interested in a Giannis-less Milwaukee team at all. They've been terrible. Scored 77 points the other night. Couldn't even get 79 the other night. They couldn't even get 80 against Celtics. Magic taking on the Thunder. Nice test for the Orlando Magic. It is in Oklahoma City, so nice test for the Orlando Magic because they're trying to do something out there in the East, but still with no Franz Wagner back is tough. 76ers taking on the Warriors. Warriors with no Jimmy Butler suddenly become one of the most unwatchable teams in the league, even with Steph Curry, even with Steph. Still one of the most unwatchable teams in the league, in my opinion. They're just a wholly incomplete team. They lost their second best player. Of course they're going to be. And then you got the Suns Blazers rounding out the night, an 11 p.m. tip-off here in the East Coast. This is EST time for me here in the East Coast. 11 p.m. tip-off is absolutely insane. I don't know what NBC is thinking, putting a game on, starting a game that late here on the East Coast. Like, the difference between a 10:30 start time and an 11 p.m. start time is huge. This game is projected to end around 1:30 a.m. here in the East Coast. Right? A game is around 2.5 hours. This is projected to end at 1:30 a.m. At least before it would end around 1, which is already stretching it. Now you're pushing it. Game ends, and then I gotta go crawl into bed. I'm looking at going to sleep around 2 a.m. if I want to stay up and watch the West Coast games. Crazy. Anyway, starting the fourth quarter. Philly has the ball. Barlow down the lane. Can't get the layup to go. Oubre an offensive rebound. Gets blocked by Zubac, and he clears with the rebound. My goodness. Big time stop. Here comes Philly bringing it down. Kawhi's back in the game. They get it over to Lopez. Pump fake. Swings through to his right. To the basket. Layup. Gets swatted out of there by Dembona. And now here comes Philly. Maxey up top dancing with it. They get it over to Barlow. Quickly back to Maxey. Dancing with it. Step back three over Jordan Miller. Comes up short. Long rebound. Battle for it. Ball knocked loose. And Jordan Miller able to pick it up. Good job from Zubac to hustle to it. Miller gets it over to Kawhi. Kawhi tried to get it down low to Zubac, but gets kicked out of bounds. So it'll stay here with the Clippers. Suns Jen said ridiculous. It's crazy. I know it's beneficial to try and squeeze it to get it to start later because of, that's prime time for the West, right? 8 o'clock start time, West Coast time in LA, the 3-hour difference. So for them, it starts at 8 p.m., which is prime time television. So that's great for them. It's a great start time for them. He said 8 p.m. local is terrible. Well, that's prime time television usually, right? You're home from work on a weekday. You shower, you eat, and then you can throw the game on, and that's how you end your night. As Maxey picks off the Batum pass, the East Coast. I'm used to that on the East Coast. Like that's primetime television. As Maxey knocks down a pull-up three straight away, and it suddenly ballooned back up to 16. Only in LA. Sorry, West Coast. I know LA. I kind of just go off of LA time. I know it's 3 hours difference. It's easy to figure out, but it's also like the longest time. So as Lopez at least answers back with a three of his own. I'm not even calling the game right now. I'm just complaining about the start time. My bad. Trav the 90 said they don't care about East Coast basketball enthusiasts. It's difficult because, like I said, it's primetime start time, 8 p.m. out in LA, right? And I think that's what they want. Down the lane, Oubre knocks down the lefty scoop layup, and he's looking for a foul. He doesn't get it, but they knock down the scoop layup. Again, Philly holding LA arm's distance away, not allowing them to cut this to single digits at any point so far here during this comeback. Even 7-10 or 7:30. 7:30 is just a better start time, man. 7:30 in the East, 7:30 in LA would work. Phoenix is what, Suns Gents? That's not the same time zone, is it? Right? Isn't it Mountain Time in Phoenix? Kawhi sees the double team, spins off of them. He's just going to drive it down. Oh, my. Kawhi turning back the clock. Throwing down the Statue of Liberty dunk. Got trapped. Double team, just kept his dribble alive, spun out of it, and attacked the rim. He said, I ain't passing this anymore. I'm just taking it into my own hands. Oubre gets it over to Bona. Fakes the handoff to the rim. Leaves it off of Barlow. Pulling his way in the paint. Barlow throws a dangerous behind-the-back pass, but he does save it out to Bona. Bona in the lane. Pump fake, steps through. Tries to put it up, gets blocked. And 0.9 on the clock after the block shot. So 1 second to go for the 76ers, who will keep possession here. So with Mountain right now and West Coast Cone Sprint, ooh, I see. They get it in the Grimes with 1 second to go. He just turns and fires and comes up short in an air ball, well short. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. And here comes Jordan Miller, who's been a nice spark for them, at least in the second half here. I thought he had a really bad first half, but he's been a nice spark in the second half here. Kawhi up top, steps back, dancing with it. Coming to his left, spins. Maxey almost came over for the steal. Kawhi now fall away midi. In and out, can't get it to go. Zubac the offensive rebound and draws the foul on the floor after he snagged the rebound. So Jen said, we're literal Arizona time. Funny. I always just think about it as East Coast time and Pacific time. And I forget there's a million other time zones. Kawhi has it up top. Down low to Zoo. Zoo quickly sprays it out to Lopez, who takes the baseline, but he was standing on the out-of-bounds line. Brook Lopez has quietly been a little bit of a disaster tonight. My goodness. Trav the 90 said, off topic, but I really miss Marv Albert calling these games. Isn't his son a commentator? I'm not sure about his son, but I will say Marv Albert was not as sharp as he was in his older age. So it's best for him to retire so everybody can remember him back in his prime. But his last year or two, really his last 2 years, his commentating was really rough. Just really not fully understanding what was going on out there or understanding some of the players that were out there anymore. It was really rough his last 2 years. Philly missed the three. Maxey missed the three. But, of course, they grab an offensive rebound. And Barlow, taking it down, attacking Brook Lopez, gets the layup and the and one. And the Clippers really had an opportunity to come back and make this interesting. It was 13 at the end of the third. It's now ballooning back up at 16 again as Barlow is at the foul line, and he gets it to 16 as he knocks down the free throw. He's had a career night, I assume, 22 and 15 for Dominic Barlow tonight. They made him look like a superstar. My goodness. So Jen said we have to check the calendar to factor time zones. That's pretty crazy. They get over to Miller. Miller coming to his right off the Zubac screen in the lane, throws up the floater, got it to go over Bona. Miller is up to 15 points. Again, he's been a really nice spark in the second half here for them. A 14-point game with under 8 to go. It's not looking good, but they're not getting, ran out of the gym. Barlow with three's really feeling it, and he gets the friendly bounce. Dominic Barlow 26 big old points here tonight. I can say I have witnessed the career night of Dominic Barlow in his early career here. They swing it out to an open Brook Lopez, another open three, another bucket. Not going out without a fight. A 14-point game still with 7:20 to go. Trap in the 90s said it's quiet for the Clips. Philly got this. Step back midi for Maxey got it to go. I mean, they just really have no answers overall, man. And the Clippers finally call a timeout. Try to slow them down a little bit. Maxey had a pretty poor offensive third quarter, and the Clippers couldn't really take too much advantage of it. They did get it down to as close as 12. 11, actually. They got it to as close as 11. And now it's ballooned back up to 16. 7 minutes to go. Not looking good. Eric says Kawhi made 2 threes. He is not, Eric. He has not made 2 threes. He's getting trapped out on the perimeter, so he's not had space to shoot threes. He's been in attack mode all night, trying to get downhill. They've shown a double team to him all night with no reliable second option, no James Harden. Been Kawhi getting double teamed and him trying to score over a double team or try to find an open man. That has not worked out too great for him tonight because his teammates have not made shots. But overall, Kawhi has been downhill here tonight. Out of necessity. So we went over tomorrow's slate of games, right? A couple of interesting ones, like we said, Nuggets Pistons. We're covering Knicks Wizards tomorrow. You got Celtics Mavs as the primetime game, and then the late primetime game you have Suns Blazers, which is an interesting, fun game. And then the other interesting one is Magic Thunder. See if the Magic can keep up with the Thunder and how real of a threat they are. Again, though, they are still down Franz Wagner, so that's a obviously huge missing piece for the Magic. But with both the Knicks and the Nuggets in action tomorrow, Wednesday, looking really far ahead, Wednesday, both those teams in action because they play each other. ESPN game, second night of a back-to-back. Really weird programming, not programming, but a really weird decision to put a Knicks-Nuggets game on the second night of a back-to-back as your primetime television game. Like, obviously, this is a good matchup. And you could say they're on equal footing because they're both on the second night of a back-to-back, but that's not getting the best basketball possible out of these guys, right? They're both going to be tired, especially the Nuggets, who are a wreck with injury, but also had the Thunder. Now they play the Pistons. And now on an East Coast trip, they play the Pistons at Detroit, and now they're going to fly over to New York to play the Knicks on the second night of a back-to-back. Like, that's tough. That's tough. And it'll be Jokic's fourth game back from injury, so not even going to be great. Siptic said, will Joel get put back in? Probably. Unless, I think he'll probably get put back in unless Philly extends this lead up to 20. You have to hope that the Clippers are able to hang around and keep this around 10. Because then I suspect Embiid will probably come back in. But as far as Wednesday goes, we're going to try and do the doubleheader because after the Knicks-Nuggets game, we got Thunder Spurs. The last game, the 5th game they will play each other this year. They played each other 5 times, or will play each other 5 times come Wednesday. This will be the 5th game. Obviously, it's usually 4. And then they get, and then they had one game added because they ended up matching against each other in the Cup tournament game. So this will be the 5th game they play each other. And the final game they play each other this year. Obviously, very notably, the Thunder have lost to the Spurs 3 out of 4 times already. Thunder won the last one, so trying to get back into it. Kawhi has it up top, 16-point game, straightaway 3. Got it to go. There's your 2 threes, Eric. Kawhi knocked it down. That's his second made 3 of the game. Not said, oh, did they get back in? Kind of. They got it to as low as 11 in the third, but then kind of gave it all right back, and it was a 13-point lead going into the fourth. And now still 13 as we're approaching the halfway point. Not looking great for the Clippers as Maxey and Embiid are back in. And Maxey has had control of this fourth quarter. He started the fourth quarter. They get over to Embiid and Midi, got it to go, and that's not a good sign. Embiid and Maxey were missing their shots in the third quarter, and that was the time for the Clippers to go on a run and put some pressure on them. And they didn't really. I mean, they cut it from like 23 down to 12, but have not gotten close enough. They show double team to Kawhi. They get it over to Miller. Miller's going to lean in against Embiid and draw the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2. Trap in the 90s, so no Aaron Gordon. No Aaron Gordon, who's still out. He is still out with injury. So is Christian Brown. So is Cam Johnson. 3/5 of their starting lineup still out. And Jokic just came back from injury. So 6 minutes to go, halfway through this quarter. Keith, what's up, Keith? Despite having a stress fracture in his back, a bum knee, Embiid started playing organized ball at age 16 and was picked number 3 overall. He's done well for himself in the NBA. He has. I don't know if he's had a stress fracture in his back, brother. I don't know about that one. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's had a stress fracture in his back. That's not I don't think he's had a stretch fracture in his back. You might be thinking about the stretch fracture in his foot. Embiid turns around, can't knock down the floater. MBM said, think Christian played last night? He did not. We watched the Nuggets game last night. Christian Brown did not play. Bruce Brown did. Might be thinking of him, or you might have seen his name pop up. The Clippers can knock down the score after coming up with a stop. They get over to Oubre down the lane, leaves it off for Barlow, catches, spins, kicks it out. Extra pass, Kawhi jumped the lane. Going to have a runaway dunk. Okay, there you go. An 11-point game again, 5 minutes to go. Again, they can make it interesting here. They can make it interesting. Trav in the 90s said karma is real, shouldn't have injured Mitchie. He definitely injured him purposely. People like to pretend he didn't. He definitely did. Oubre is on the right wing, up top to Maxey. Swing it over to Grimes, inside to Embiid. Just turns and fires as they just leave him. Just left them. Wide open, 10 feet away from the basket. They just left them, and he easily knocks down the jumper. They get it up top to Zubac. Now they get it over to Kawhi. Kawhi coming to his left off the screen. Mid-range pull-up jumper, and he gets fouled from behind by Oubre. Will send him to the foul line for 2. But they're continuing to trade baskets. Even if Kawhi knocks down both of these free throws, it'll still be 11 with 4:42 to go. Kawhi misses a free throw. He's been a 91% free throw shooter this year, and and that was with a couple of recent misses. Before that, he was shooting like 94% from the foul line, which would have shattered the previous record holder, which obviously has not happened. Kawhi misses 2 in a row. That is going to sink his free throw percentage for sure. Approaching 4:30 to go here. Kawhi just missed 2, a golden opportunity to cut it back to 11. Now Maxey dancing with it, coming to his left off the Embiid screen. Maxey's going to double step back left wing 3. A little bit of a dagger. They push it to 16 and a timeout for the Clippers, and that might put an end to the Clippers. They have 4.5 to go. We'll see if they can get it back to single digits at some point here, but it's not looking likely. It is not looking likely at all. Son Jensen, apparently yes. Embiid suffered from the same issue. Spondylosis? I definitely did not pronounce that right. Spondylolysis. As Steve Nash? Interesting. I did not know that. Slims, what's up, Slims? What's the score for Kobe Sanders? Kobe Sanders has like, 13 points or something like that tonight. Where's our box score? Kobe Sanders has 14 points tonight, 6 for 8 from the field, 2 for 3 from three-point range for Kobe Sanders. Son Jen said, me either. We all learn. I mean, he's dealt with a million things, so hard to keep track of all of them. It's been a tough road for him for sure, which is why what he did to Mitchell Robinson makes it seem like, why? You know what it's like to deal with injuries as a big man. Why would you purposely injure another big man? Which is why he's I'm always going to look down on him for his basketball career. Even in his player graphic up here, if it ever rotates back over there and you can read it, his career is going to be defined by Joel Embiid's career is going to be defined by two things. It's going to be defined by his litany of injuries, and it's going to be defined by his flopping, which I don't think helped his litany of injuries, right? For a guy who dealt with knee, leg, and foot issues, the guy loved falling to the floor all the time. I don't think that helped at all. Someone just said, yeah, people are weird. Just weird. Maybe the best word for it. I was going to try and describe it a different way, but yeah, probably just weird. Just weird, man. It's just weird. You know what it's like to deal with with injuries as a big man, and then you purposely go out of your way to pull another guy down that was simply just playing basketball. It's not like they got into it or anything like that. Mitchell Robinson was simply just locking up defensively and making it difficult for him. And he got frustrated, let his emotions take the best of him, and purposely injured Mitchell Robinson to get him out of the game, which will never be forgiven. Trav in the 90s said the process can't make it out of the second round. And the third thing he'll probably remember for is, so far throughout his career, never making it out of the second round. And at this point in his career, is now second banana to Tyrese Maxey, which is, nothing to be ashamed of. It happens. He's 31 years old now, dealt with the injuries he's dealt with, and Maxey's awesome. But let's say they make it to the conference finals either this year or in the years coming or whatever the case may be. With Embiid, he won't be recognized as the guy that led the charge to get them there. Unless, he has a magical playoff run. But has not happened yet. Has not happened. He's a dirty player. Yeah, and he's got other things on his resume as well in terms of playing very dirty. So Wilson said Embiid only had knee problems, no fractured back. Apparently he has a fractured back. Keith put it in the chat earlier. I was skeptical as well, but Suns Gen, I don't know. I'm taking Suns Gen's word for it, but apparently he's fact-checked it as well. Apparently he's dealt with back issues, brother. And the Clippers are waving the white flag. They have all of their bench guys out there. Slims said, what's Kobe Sanders' score tonight? It's up here, brother. It's right here. Open your eyes. Can you see it? Right here. I put it up for you. You asked earlier. I put it up for you, big dog. Right here. 14 points. 14 points. The Clippers have waved the white flag, though, so we're probably going to end it here. Next dead ball. We've got 4 minutes to go. Only 4 minutes to go, but, they've waved the white flag. They've taken everybody out of the game. Out of all the flopping this year, and they haven't called. Yeah. The Clippers scored, but again, they have all of their bench guys in there. Kobe Sanders, Yannick Niedenhauser. What's his other part of his name? Get my man's name right. You can't see it. Yannick Conan Niederhauser is in the game. So Niederhauser is his last name. Yannick Conan is his first name. Jordan Miller. Kendall Brown? Is that Kendall Brown? Which Brown is this? Kobe Brown. I'm not familiar. Just do this. We're done for the night. We're going to wrap it up. Kobe Brown is in the game. I just want to give these, end of the bench guys here a shout out real quick because they just got in. And I believe this is Cam Christie, which is Max Christie's brother from playing on the Dallas Mavericks. Max Christie, good rotation player. Cam Christie, his brother here on the Clippers. A pick in last year's draft here for the LA Clippers. And that's going to wrap it up right there. A timeout for the 76ers. Probably going to Nick Nurse is going to use the timeout to take everybody out. Just to have the Barlow game. Absolutely. He's going to end the night with 26 and 16. My goodness, Dominic Barlow. 24 for Embiid, 15 for Oubre, 29 for Maxey, 5 and 6 as well. Only 5 rebounds for Embiid. But he didn't need the rebound a lot because Barlow had his back. Quinn Grimes with 8 off the bench. He might stay in the game. Who knows? Either way, that's going to wrap us up, y'all. I appreciate you for hanging out with me. Wire-to-wire victory for the Philadelphia 76ers. The Clippers hung around but could never make it that interesting. They never got it to single digits after going down by double figures. They never got it back down to single digits. Crazy. They teased us all night long with a possible comeback and they never actually put their foot on the gas pedal to make the comeback happen. But shout out to the 76ers, I guess, who had an answer all night long whenever the Clippers were starting to build some momentum. But one of those nights for the Clippers, second night of a back-to-back, no James Harden. Now they have trade rumors flying around about their roster, so we'll see if that affects them. They have been one of the hotter teams in the league. Either way, a good win for the 76ers, pretty bad loss for the Clippers. Maybe a scheduled loss, but it is what it is. Eric said the Kawhi make 2 threes. Kawhi made 2 threes, Eric. He did make 2 threes tonight. He said the first quarter killed him. Yeah. I mean, even if I look right here, I can tell you guys, 38-19 was the first quarter, Philly with the lead. And then they tied them 34-34. The Clippers won the third quarter, 34-28, and the fourth quarter so far has been tied. So yeah, that first quarter killed them, and they were never able to mount a large enough comeback to come back into it. And ultimately, you still end up losing by double figures, even though you only lost one quarter so far. But you lost a quarter so large, 19, that you weren't able to overcome it. A couple days left before the deadline. Yep, deadline is Thursday, and tomorrow's Tuesday. The Knicks have back-to-back games Tuesday and Wednesday, and that'll be the last time we watch the Knicks play, Wednesday against the Denver Nuggets before the big deadline day on Thursday. And the next time we see the Knicks will be on a Friday. So, I'm hoping that we have pretty much majority of our guys available and no real big trades happen because I don't think that the Knicks are going to be able to pull off one of those trades. Either way, hopefully the Knicks are competing for a championship come the stretch end here. So either way, that is going to be our final score. I could update it real quick. Both teams have scored here, 122-108. Shout out to all of our channel members, whether you were gifted a membership or you decided to become a member yourself. I appreciate all the support. And I appreciate the support tonight, guys, for hanging out with me here on the East Coast. It is now 12:30 a.m. Not too bad. I thought this might get into the 1 o'clock range, so not too bad. It was a 10 o'clock start time, so not too late either. Trav in the 90s said, pack Yabu up. Apparently, a report came out, Trav in the 90s, that the Knicks are going around to every team in the league, and they're like, listen, we'll give you Yabu for almost anything. What do you want? And teams in the league are like, oh, we're good, man. That guy's been bad this year. We're good. He's got a player option for next year. No thanks. So hopefully they could find a dance partner to get Yabu off the squad, get his money off the books, because it is not favorable for sure. Just that I'm not going to the game tomorrow? Oh, brother. With that being said, I appreciate you guys, like I said, for anybody here on the East Coast staying up late with me, anybody on the West Coast getting to hang out with me at a decent time rather than like pretty early, because usually we're watching East Coast games. Thank you for hanging out with me. We will be back tomorrow with the Knicks taking on the Wizards. That'll be the only game we're coming tomorrow, but we'll keep an eye out around the league as well. It's a 7 o'clock start time, so we'll be live at 6:30 for a pregame rundown as usual. With that being said, remember to brush your teeth before going to bed. Stay hydrated, and I'll catch you on the next one. Good night, everybody. Bye.